Hey. Hey y'all. Man, feels like it's been a minute since I've been out here with y'all for real. Because I wasn't here last week. I was recovering from being sick. Um, yeah, so I didn't really have the energy to come out here, and I didn't want to force it. And just, all the things we talk about and showing up authentically and how important that is, especially to me at this point in my journey and everything. It just, all signs pointed to taking the day off. And so I've been really, really looking forward to today. I have no idea what's going to come out, honestly. I feel like last time I spoke to y'all, we were arriving in our new reality, our dream reality, our highest timeline. So I'm very curious to see what type of messages arrive today, especially being that things aligned for me not to be here last week. I'm just very curious. And I have no idea what's going to come out. But one thing I will say for sure is that my dreams have been so vivid. They've been such an experience, honestly. Like even today, like I woke up, brain feeling tired, energetically a little tired. Like, I don't know, like I woke up more tired than I went to sleep. And just, it was a very active sleep. And my dreams have been very active and very, very detailed as well too. If that's been something you've been experiencing too, I'd love to hear about it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. And just being as winter is coming to an end, yesterday was a 222 portal. There's just so much energy. We're still in eclipse season. There's just so much energy at play right now. So I'm sure I'm not the only one experiencing things like this. So that being said, if you are experiencing it, you're not alone, I promise. I'm just really excited for today's session. And I'm excited to be here with Tree Baby. It's been a minute, and I was just expressing gratitude to her a little bit before I hit record. I'm excited. With that being said, you already know how we get things going here. It's time to do a little bit of presence practice. If you are new here, hey y'all, I'm Mark, aka 5D Just Too Easy, aka It's Just Too Easy _5, aka KK if you know some, aka War Peace Rock if you really, really, really know some. That means you're over there on the Patreon doing that good work that we do week in and week out. If you're not over there already, definitely head over there. It's still set up as a free 7-day trial before you have to pay anything. So you really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You get a full 7 days to kind of get a lay of the land, see what we're all about and what a typical weekend there would look like before committing to a full month. So definitely head over there. There's some cool stuff like journal with me's. There's meditate with me videos. We made some oracle cards on there last week. Did my first walk with me video. Like there's so much stuff and gonna be more and more and more and more. So if you're into readings and if you're into doing the spiritual work, the shadow work as well, then definitely join the Patreon. It's patreon.com/5D Just Too Easy. If you didn't get that, there's links on my bio on any social media, on any platform I have. There's my link tree there, and one of the first few links will be the Patreon. So and that being said, I'm Mark. Like I said, I'm your reader, and if you are new here, we start every one of these live stream collective readings with our presence practice, which is our breath work, and then we do our body scan. For today, our breath work is just going to be deep belly breaths. Inhale through the nose all the way to the bottom of the belly. Hold. Slow exhale. Exhale as slow as you can. At the very least, make sure the exhale lasts longer than your inhale did. And that's just to promote relaxation and allow your nervous system to know that you're safe and that you're all good to come into this present moment. And that's very important because we do navigate a lot of energy here, a lot of high vibe energy, a lot of charged energy. And if your cup's already full and you're already scattered and your energy's all over the place, it's going to be hard to kind of hold space for all the energy. So presence practice is very important to me because it creates that space and allows us to be able to hold more space for the energy and gives us the best chance at really seeing it through and working with it and all that. So that being said, we'll start there, and then I'll explain the body scan when we get to it. But first things first, our breath work. So go ahead and find a comfortable position, whether sitting, laying down, whatever feels right to you, however you want to engage in the practice today. But yeah, so go ahead and introduce a little bit of movement in your body. Ooh. Whatever feels right. There's no right or wrong for this. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and slowly and lovingly close your eyes. All right, we're gonna get going with our inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. Inhale. Exhale. Do a couple more of those. Inhale. Exhale. Before we do this last one, go ahead and take note of how you're feeling, especially versus how you felt coming into the presence practice. Also take note of your body and what the energy feels like inside right now. All right. Let's get going with our last deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Great job. All right, we're gonna go right into our body scan. And for our body scan, I'm just gonna call out different body parts. You're gonna place your awareness there and just don't judge anything you may notice. Don't question anything you may notice. Like if you do notice any stuck energy or any tension, just lovingly use your awareness to release it and allow the energy to move. But don't wonder how long it's been there, where it came from, what it means, or anything like that. Remember that the name of the game right now is presence. So just place your awareness there and continue on as we continue forward. We're gonna start at the top of our head. So go ahead and place your awareness at the top of your head. And let's get going. top of the head, forehead, eyes, back of the head, ears, nose, your mouth, your chin, your neck, your shoulders, your back, upper and lower, then your arms, chest, check in with your heart too. Then your stomach, then your hands. Pay special attention to the energy present in your hands. And if they're not already, turn your hands up, put yourself in a receiving mode. And palms up, not necessarily hands up, but palms facing up. And yeah, pay special attention to your hands and the subtle vibrations that are present there. Then we're gonna go to our waist. Then your hips. Then your pelvic, groin area. Then your butt. And if you're sitting or laying down, pay special attention to where your body meets the surface that you're sitting or lying on. And then express a little gratitude for the support as well. Thank you. Then we're going to go to our upper legs, our thighs, hamstrings. Then your knees. Then your lower legs, your calves, your shins. Your ankles. Your feet. And then last but not least, your toes. And then go ahead and give them a little bit of a wiggle. And before we come out of our presence practice, go ahead and embrace yourself in like a bit of a hug, as tight as you can without it being super uncomfortable. And then rock a little bit from left to right. Really just holding yourself and being present with yourself. Express gratitude 3 times, whether it be out loud, energetically, in your mind, whatever feels right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then go ahead and return your arms back to where they were. And before we open our eyes, we're going to do one last deep breath. On the inhale, place your awareness on your toes where we left off. And just follow the energy and pull it up from your toes all the way back up to the top of your head. Hold. And then slow exhale, as slow as you can. Don't even push the air out. Just allow it to kind of leak out, like letting air out of a balloon. And as you exhale out your mouth, allow yourself to release whatever doesn't serve you anymore. Any energy that's not in alignment to your highest timeline. And just anything that's just not, that you're ready to leave here and not take with you as we go into our practice and into the rest of your life, honestly. So, awareness on your toes. Inhale and follow the energy all the way up. Exhale. Great job today, y'all. When you're ready, go ahead and slowly and lovingly open your eyes and return to the space you're in. Whew. Things got really, really calm out here right before I opened my eyes. There's something in the sky like coming down like this. I'll show y'all. Can I turn this? It's not turning, but I hope y'all can see it up there. It's like the sun's right there. I can't tell if you can see it or not. Well, it even looks like it's coming out the sun, but it's just coming straight down. I really hope y'all can see it. I can't tell. I'm just pointed at it and hope for the best. Yeah, I have no idea what it could be. But its trajectory is interesting because it's literally coming straight down. Not straight down, but like, it's coming down. If y'all know what that is, definitely let me know. All right, let's see. Let's get... Hopefully my head's not cut off or anything, and we're still framed pretty good. But yeah. That being said, it's time. We're gonna get started with some Oracle and then go into Tarot, and then if anything, we're gonna end with Oracle 2 to get closing messages. So I'm excited though. Like I said, I have no idea what's gonna come out, where we're about to go, where we're journeying to on today's session, but I know it'll be a good one. So, hey, 444 on the bottom, y'all. I think it's still traveling down. Very interesting. Whew. Oh, and if you are on Patreon, you know that I added some new cards to my Oracle deck. So that's exciting too. I wonder if anything will come out today, any of the new stuff. Ooh, this wind is making this a bit interesting. Oh, 444 back at the bottom again. It's like the wind wants to take them right out of my hand. I need to find new methods of shuffling. Lord knows I've never been the shuffle guy, you know, playing cards and none of that. I'm never the one to do that. People be having all types of tricks and stuff, and not my game, y'all. But yeah, if y'all are interested in making your own Oracle cards, definitely go check out the Patreon, because there's definitely the video from last week about it. And I think that one, yeah, so if you sign up for the trial, like you'll be able to access it. And you can access all the stuff for as long as you have the trials. So definitely use that week to go, you know, binge everything and call it a week, you know. And if you want to, or stick around, whatever feels right. Ooh, and this is a new one. Blood and freedom. Freedom on the bottom. Let me put these somewhere. But yeah, blood honestly feels like family to me right now. I'm also hearing blood is thicker than water. But I feel like there's always been, I keep hearing that there's more to that saying than that, but I can't remember what it is. Like the blood of the something is thicker than the water or something, but I'm drawing a blank right now. So that might be significant for somebody. Yeah, this just feels like a reminder with the freedom on the bottom as well. It's just a reminder that your family, like your physical family, like your blood family, isn't the be-all, end-all of family and connection in this world, in your life in general. There may be people you come across and meet that you'll become way closer to and that feel way more like family than the one you're born into. And that's deserving of honoring, you know. That's a very important thing to remember and to not discount just because, you know, they're not your blood family. And that also feels like not giving your family too much leeway just because they're your family, you know. Like, yes, they're your family. Yes, they may be, you know, your aunt, your cousin, your grandma, your sister, your brother. But at the end of the day, they need to respect you in the same way that you hold other people accountable to respecting you. And you don't owe your blood family a bunch of extra grace or a bunch of free passes for things that are a no to you, you know? Like if something bothers you, if something is out of alignment to how you want to be treated, then you owe it to yourself to hold them to that standard, and not to give them a free pass just because, you know, you're related. Because family dynamics are some of the ones that are the hardest to navigate, because it always gets that extra grace of being like, oh, they're family, you know how family are, you know, and those sayings like you can't choose your family, or like you're stuck with your family, and just all these different things that are just enabling type of sayings and phrases that just enable those people to not treat each other the way they need to treat them and not to hold themselves accountable, honestly. So this just feels like embracing that freedom that you have and your free will, and not letting anybody be bigger than the program, especially your family. Yeah, that feels like an important reminder right now, and in general, as things continue to change, as you continue to, get older, as your family continues to grow, depending on how old you are, as you're creating your own family, having your own kids, and all that is just a reminder that you don't get a free pass just because you're family, and they don't get a free pass just because they're family. At the end of the day, we're all people, we're all beings, and no one's bigger than the program. And if anything, families should be held to a higher standard because they're the ones who've been there since the beginning, and they should want to treat you in a way that feels good to you and that feels right and that makes you feel like you're loved, more than the most random person, more than the person you come across. So if they're treating you less than that, then that's an indicator right there that there needs to be a change. There needs to be a change in the dynamic, or you need to talk to them or whatever, but you need to be treated the way you need to be treated, regardless of who it is, and no one's bigger than that. So these came out, roll up on the top, but I'm gonna put it back. It's a lot of cards. What's in store for this week, or what's in store for this session? What do we need to know right now? (333), and that feels like divine protection. And as I look at the bottom and see TikTok, this just feels like the clock winding down, like time's almost up is what I just heard. And then, I just split to enough. And it feels like time is up, and this feels like the collective at large, not even just us sitting here, but just the world in general. And as TikTok just flew up, shot o'clock just came out. And honestly, it feels like a celebration as a lot of these systems are crashing, as more truth continues to come out, and people are starting to see more of the reality of what we're dealing with here at large, as far as the powers that were, as far as the patriarchy is what I just heard crumbling, and just in all the ways that the world is changing and truth is coming more and more and more to the surface. It just feels like time is up for them, time is up for the ways things have been. And it feels like, yes, things may appear scary on the outside, and especially if you're watching a lot of news and news media and all that stuff, understand that that's by design, but understand that you're divinely protected, and that all this is coming to a close because it's time for it to come to a close. That, at the top, when you follow everything back, it all goes back to source, and it's all the same energy, it's all light. So understand that as scary as things are, understand that it's all a means to an end, and it's all just a recalibration and us getting back to where we're supposed to be, and life being what it's supposed to be. And through that, everybody has to play their part. The big scary guys have to be the big scary guys. The light workers have to be the light workers. The people who are asleep have to be asleep. Everybody plays their part, but it all leads to the same place. Everybody playing their role, even though they look so different and feel so different, and some feels bad and some feels out of alignment, some feels wrong. Understand that everybody playing their part and being exactly who they are is what leads us to us getting back to where we're supposed to be, to new earth, to these higher frequencies that the planet is ready to embody, and that the world is ready to embody. And it takes everybody being exactly who they are. And the shot o'clock under the TikTok feels like this is not a moment to be afraid, but it's a moment to be celebrated. We're so lucky, not lucky because there's no luck involved, but we're so blessed to be living through these times right now. We're getting to see, we're living through the shifts in which the world got back on track, and that truth became the normal, and truth became evident and present, and was all that remained, and we're able to see it and live through it. And that's no small thing at all. So you should be celebrating. You should have your popcorn ready, and you should be embracing as more and more truth comes out, as more and more things start to crumble and break apart, as you see people asking more and more questions, and it becomes more and more evident that we're headed somewhere, that we should be very, very grateful. And yeah, not misuse our energy by allowing ourselves to fall into fear and to feed these things more fear, more worry, more energy, and more of our life force that we don't need to feed it anymore. You know, it's already fed enough. It's already taken enough from us. We've already given it enough. And now it's time to realize, like, okay, like, our energy, our life force, and everything has been the fuel for all of this BS, all this craziness, all the chaos, and all of it. So it's like the best thing you can do right now is pull back your energy, put it in the places that you want to put it, and realize that it's all working out, and it's all unfolding exactly as it should be, and that all roads led here, and that on the other side of this we'll understand exactly what was going on. We'll understand exactly where we were, where we've been, and we'll definitely know where we're going, because where we're going is community, where we're going is oneness. And it's not even where we're going, it's where we are. This is just an unfoldment of it. Remember, things play out in the physical last. So as we're seeing things change in the physical and things fall away and unfold, understand that these things have already been done at higher levels and higher dimensions, energetically, spiritually, and all that. And as you continue to see the unfoldment and the chaos and all that, understand that chaos leads to order, and order falls to chaos at some point. And that's how these things go, and that's how the energy goes, you know? So it's like endings come through beginnings, and beginnings come through endings. And it's just this dance that continues to go on. And yeah, and right now we're in transitioning from an ending to a beginning. And like I said, it's already done. We're just seeing the unfoldment of it. So it's really, really beautiful. Damn. And yeah, these cars just fell out all over the place, but 333 again, TikTok again, even blood again, and freedom. So I'm gonna shuffle a little bit more, but oh yeah, and then shot o'clock again. And under that is Scorpio. And that just feels like that transformation energy that I'm seeing the tower in my mind's eye. It's like those shadows and everything that are surfacing right now, it's part of it. And then, yeah, raise your frequency. And it's like the best thing you can do right now is get educated, you know? And that doesn't necessarily mean going outside of yourself all the time. Sometimes it's going within and sitting with the energy and the truth of you, and realizing that the outside is reflections of your inside, and the things you notice and where your awareness goes reflects your inner state. So the best thing you can do right now is get in tap with yourself, get in tune with yourself, and learn more about who you are, and strengthen your knowledge of self, and realize where you sit in all this, and really just educating yourself, which raises your frequency. Your vibration is something, you know, that changes from time to time, but your frequency really holds your knowledge, how you know the world to operate, where you know yourself to sit in the grand scheme of things, and all that. And turtle on the bottom, and that feels like go slow. You know, if this isn't something you've been diving into, go slow, you know, start small. Start with just, confirmation burp. Start slow with just getting to know, looking into frequency and vibration and what that means, and how those are present in everything. Start there and work your way up, and kind of just follow the trail. And yeah, under that is schedule. And then under that is God. And those just feel like taking the time out, like understanding that that's these things, and getting versed on yourself and connect to yourself is just as important as everything else in your schedule, you know, just as important as your job, just as important as your responsibilities and your kids and their responsibilities and their activities, and making sure they're okay. Like connecting to yourself is just as important, because everything you do is a product, is through the vehicle of your connection to yourself, you know? Like you can't really interact with anything outside of yourself. Like even if you're the most impartial and non-biased person, you're only as non-biased and impartial as you can be, you know? It's like, at the end of the day, you're you. So it's like, if you believe the world to operate this way, and that way, like it's gonna be hard to kind of meet somebody somewhere else through a different lens if you don't even understand that the way you see the world is hyper you, you know? And in my experience, our realities operate as we know them to operate, you know? And that can be seen just through religion, you know? There's all these different religions, and if you ask everybody about their religion, they all have so much proof on why their religion is the religion and why it's the right religion. But it's like, everybody can't be wrong. That doesn't really make sense to me. And the only thing that does make sense is that our realities operate as we know them to operate, and that our operating system for our reality is internal. And because at one point I was really religious. At one point, I was really religious. I grew up in the church. I grew up Christian, raised Christian. And I feel like at that point when I was really, really believing in and into it and all that, like I had proof as well. And at this point I'm not religious, and I don't even prescribe to be a Christian at this point. And I have so much proof in things unfolding in the ways I see the world now. And I just feel like, not even feel like, to me, that's my proof, and that's just part of it. I could talk about that all day. But that's part of the proof for me, as far as just our realities operating as we believe them, truly know and believe them to operate. And we'll get a bunch of proof of that. And I can see that all the time, like I said, just in talking to people and their experiences and what they believe and how they have so much proof. And if you go to this side of the world, they were raised believing a completely different thing, and they have so much proof. And yeah, all that being said is just really connecting to yourself, who you know yourself to be and what you believe, and really understanding that at a really deep level, because that plays out into your reality, that plays out in your relationships, that plays out in how you connect to your job, how you connect to the people you come across, how the things you notice when you, in your life. I was gonna say when you leave your house, but even in your house, just where your awareness goes and all that. Because me and you can go to the exact same place and spend the entire day together, like room to room, doing all the same things, and our experience will be different. You know, the things we notice will be different. The things that stick with us and we remember will be different. And that's just because our world is our own world. It doesn't matter what you do more so as it matters who you are. And this just feels like really scheduling time to get in tap with yourself and realizing that the operating system for your reality is within you. And understand that you are God embodied. You are God in your life most of the time, if not all the time, you know? So yeah, really getting in touch with who you are is really, really far reaching as far as connecting to your world and your experience, and being able to navigate your day-to-day, moment to moment better and more authentically. Yeah, and under that is magic, and then see you later. And it's like, yeah, you connect to that. That's really where the magic is to be found. That's really where you see the truth, and you see past the illusions, and you realize that a lot of stuff out here is upside down, you know, and we're being distracted a lot of time from doing that work as far as connecting with ourselves, you know. If you've been here long enough to know that a lot of times we're being pushed to look outside, you know. It's like, watch this movie, watch that movie, listen to this song. You know, there's not too much of a push to sit in silence. There's not too much of a push to question things, you know, especially not a religion, especially not Christianity. It's always like, don't question anything, just have faith and just believe, and, you know, and it's like, why is that, you know, in everything, not just religion, but just in general? Why is it always this push to be outside of yourself, and never that same push to get to know yourself, that same push to navigate your inner world? It's like, because if you did that, you'd realize just how much illusion there is out here, how much of the world we navigate is not embodied, is not truth embodied. It really is a lot of illusion, a lot of control, a lot of fear, and all that being pushed and prioritized and pushed for us to prioritize. And so when you do connect with yourself and you tap in, you continue to navigate that inner world, understand that you will be put right in touch with a lot of your magic and a lot of magic, and you'll meet God, you'll meet Source, you'll meet all those things, and realize that the deeper you go in, the more it leads to the outside anyway. And there is no separation, you know. The more you connect to yourself, the better you can connect to the rest of the world. And it's all connected. So if you're never looking within yourself and always looking outside, you might be falling to a bunch of illusion, especially if it doesn't lead you back to yourself. Because any true teachings and any true truth will lead you back to yourself, will lead you back to your inner world. And if it doesn't do that, it just keeps you out here. Understand that that's by design. And the more you look within, the more you'll be able to discern truth from fiction, truth from illusion. And yeah, just all leads back to yourself and leads back to the rest of the world through that as well. So understand that it's not selfish to get to know yourself, to prioritize yourself. And all you're being asked to do is be honest. It's like if something doesn't feel right, things don't feel right, they don't make you feel good, they make you feel less than, drained, and all those things. That's information right there. That tells you a lot. And that should not be the case, you know. The things that are for you should fulfill you, should essentially provide their own energy for you to be engaging with them. Because when there truly is flow, alignment, and authenticity, there is no force needed, you know. There is no draining effect. There is none of that, because it is for you. It's what you're supposed to be doing. There's a natural flow there. Just like the rivers just naturally flow. Just like the birds naturally fly and do their thing. The grass naturally grows and does its thing. The trees naturally flow, you know, because it's what they're supposed to do. And it's like as humans, we're the one species that, you know, sit here and think and overthink and worry and try to force and try to make things happen. And it's like, we are a part of everything. We are a part of Source. We are a part of this universe, this world, this planet, just as the grass is, just as the trees are, just as the animals are. And none of them are overthinking. None of them are questioning their purpose. None of them are trying to force things to happen and force money to be in their pocket, or, you know, try to find the perfect person for themselves and any of that, you know. Even like animals doing mating dances, you know, they do their little mating thing and it attracts the right person, the right other counterpart, and they do their thing, you know, but it's not through force. It's not through fear and being like, oh, I don't want to be alone. And if I, you know, it's kind of a natural process that occurs and that unfolds, and they understand that they follow their instincts, understand that it all works together and that there's just a flow there. So it's like, be honest. Where is there not a flow in your life right now? Where is there things that are only being upheld by force? Things that are only being upheld by self-sacrificing, through you wearing a mask and not showing up authentically, through you shrinking. Understand that those are the things that are not in alignment with you. Because if you were truly taking up the space you need to take up, if you were truly embodying everything you are and showing up as you, no matter how other people felt about it, understand that a lot of those things would fall away. And they need to fall away, because the longer they're taking up space in your reality, the longer they're taking up space in your life, understand that you're keeping away the things that are truly in alignment to you. And yeah, there has to be space for those things to come in. So the more you can embody your true self, your authentic self, and show up 100,000% you, understand that yes, things that aren't aligned to that will fall away. Things that you've been kind of only keeping in resonance with through being a smaller version of yourself, those things will fall away. But in that process, you'll also attract the things that match 1,000% you, the 1,000% you that you're being, and that's in your best interest anyway. And the best thing you can do is have faith that will be the case, you know, and that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. The very things that fall away will be replaced by things that are more you and that are more calibrated to who you are and who you're showing up as. Remember, we were just talking about our realities operate as we know them to operate. So it's like they operate as you know them to operate, and they operate as the truth of you, you know, and how you're showing up and the frequency you're attuned to and the energy you're embodying at any given point. So understand that the more you shrink, you're going to continue to get surrounded by things that make you shrink. You're going to continue to attract in things that make you feel small. And the best thing you can do is just take up all the space you need to take up and show up as you 1,000%. And trust that everything that comes into your experience from there will match. Especially as you do it more and more, and as these echoes of the past and the karma continues to play out based on past decisions, because I'm not going to lie to you and say that, oh, as soon as you embody it, everything is going to be immediate right then and there, because, you know, there's still karma playing out from how you've been showing up. And depending on, you know, how long you've been here, how many decisions you've been making, how much self-sacrificing you've been doing, all that, you know, there's still karma that needs to play out based on past decisions. So understand that as you do it more and more, you will start to feel the change on the inside. And as you do that, the physical will begin to match more and more and more, as the physical also sheds the things that you've already released energetically, and they will be replaced, and you will end up in a world that feels more like you, because you've been showing up as yourself. So the more you can embody who you are and be honest at any given turn and really relentlessly choose yourself, the better. I also wanted to say I don't see the chat, so if y'all are in there saying stuff, know that I'm not ignoring you, and it's just not popping up, and it hasn't done that in a while. It's been really good about actually, because in the very beginning of this journey, like, there would be times where the chat wouldn't show up, like I wouldn't see any chats, and then I would go rewatch the video later, and then I'd see a bunch of chats and messages that were popping up, and it seems like that right now, like there's nothing there at all. So if you are talking, know that I'm here. They're not popping up. I'm not ignoring you. So I love you guys so much for being here, and I appreciate y'all being here. And as I say that, I feel, God on the split. And I was just about to say, I feel called to start going into tarot. And now on the bottom, I see pronto, which is another new one. And it's like, yep, hurry up. Like, let's go. And under that is 1111. So understand that there is a lot of wish fulfillment here right now. And really get clear, especially as, like I said, we're in this eclipse portal. We're in the eclipse season. We just came out of the 222 yesterday. And there's just so much energy right now. So the best thing you can do is just get clear on where you are, what you're releasing, what's not you anymore, and make space for your wishes to come in. And then just embody, like I said, show up 1000% you, show up authentically, and know that that's leading you to everything that you want. So yeah, I love y'all so much, man. And I'm very grateful to be back out here with y'all today. And I feel like the sun hasn't been that present lately, but the sun's right there, as y'all can see. There's no clouds around it, no anything, just pure sun right there. And that feels very, very significant. And yeah, I'm really glad that I'm out here and that I showed up today. So thank y'all for showing up as well. Ooh, tarot time. Hey, and look on the bottom, 10 of Pentacles, man. And this just feels like the reminder that, because you can see there's these pentacles that are like kind of bright, and the first things you notice, but when you look, that 10th pentacle is in his eye. It's within, it's part of him. And it's like, you can look outside all you want, but the true things that are for you start within you, and they're not to be found outside of yourself. And it's like, it's all here for you, but you have to attune to yourself to be able to discern what's for you, what's not for you, and to be able to see that you are literally in your dream reality right now. As things may look the same as they did before, understand that you're not the same. So understand that your reality is not the same either. And physical is where it plays out last. So the more you can connect to the truth of where you are internally and continue to embody it and embody that and ground that energy in, and to engage with things from that energy, and to plant seeds from that energy, create from that energy. Understand that all that is grounding it in more, and the fruits of your labor will continue to present themselves more through the things you're doing from that energy, and you'll see and get more and more proof of it. But if you're waiting to see the proof in the physical, understand that you're gonna continue to be in a lack vibration. You're gonna continue to be in that waiting vibration, when it's like you are the change, you are the shift, you are the dream reality. And it's like you doing the things that allow you to get those reflections back from the outside, but it all starts with you. So the more you're looking around trying to see the proof, you're missing it because it's within you, It's within you. Like, it all looks like pentacles, but it's like the true pentacle, all of it is within you. And it takes you turning that looking outside and looking within you and connecting to that and showing up as that, and planting those seeds into your reality and understanding that leads you to getting the proof of everything that you're looking to see on the outside. But it starts from you, because it all comes from you. And that's always a nice reminder. We got action, but I think I'm gonna put these back. I'm gonna look and see. Yeah, the first thing I'm seeing is Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And this, honestly, it feels like I'm hearing give to receive type energy. Like, not to be stingy with your abundance, not to be stingy with your resources and your materials and the fruits of your labor as they come in, but to be just as willing to give and to, not just like give it away, like, here, just let me just throw it everywhere and like have no regard for it, but not to be so tied to it, like the Four of Pentacle energies where you're afraid to let go. Because in that, it doesn't matter how much abundance you're holding on to, you're in a lack vibration, and that's going to be the very thing that makes you lose it all, is holding it as if you can lose it all. The best thing you can do is continue to use it, and because it's energy, allow it to flow. Energy wants to flow. Energy doesn't want to be stuck and stagnant and held in places. Just like you don't want to be just stuck, held in places, and anyway, you want your freedom. You want to be able to flow as you need to, show up as you need to, be to yourself as you need to, go this way, go that way. Energy is the same way, and money is the same way. Your resources are the same way, because it's all energy, just like your energy. So this just feels like a reminder to, as things come in, to allow it to flow, Like if you're ordering something, hey, go ahead and tip. Give a decent tip, a nice tip, a tip that feels nice, and understand that, it's not about hoarding these resources, not about hoarding the money. It's about, using the energy to pour into things that pour into you, things that feel balanced, things that feel good, And it's like helping somebody, because I don't know if you've ever been, like, I'm thinking about my time door dashing, things like that. And that changed my relationship to tipping and things like that, because I've been on the receiving ends of those tips that are real nice, and those tips that come, especially the ones that come after I've done the work, like after I delivered something, and then they added an additional tip, and how good that feels, and how it literally feels like alignment, and it feels like God, and it feels like all those things. So it's like, I want to be a part of that. So when I order things now, at this point, it's kind of like, even if I don't necessarily have it, it kind of feels like, I should probably keep these few dollars. It's like, that's exactly why I'm like, nah, yeah, let me go ahead and give. And I do, and I might make a little angel number, might give $2.22, $3.33. And it's just like, because I understand what it's like to be on the other end of that. And without people making that same decision that I just made in that moment, like, I wouldn't have any of those things. So it's like, I'm doing my part and, giving back and allowing the exchange to be balanced, and understanding that there's more where that came from. And the biggest blessings I've ever experienced in my life, I didn't see coming, It's like I can sit here and try to account for everything, and, and there's been times like that where I sat there and was holding on to money real, real tight, and thinking about how I had to make it last till next week or something like that. And there's things I went without in the moment when it's like I really wanted those things, and I didn't give them to myself just for next week to come, or just for a few days to come, and a blessing I didn't see coming, a random person sending me a random amount of money that I'm like, wow, if I would have known that was coming, I would have just, got what I needed to get last week. I wouldn't have went without. I wouldn't have been in that lack frequency. I wouldn't have been in that lack timeline if I would have known this was coming. And it's like, that always feels like I don't want to say a slap in the head, because that's violent and tough love, and it's not necessary, but it feels like a reminder, like, see, look, you missed out. And like, it's always feels like a reminder of like, yo, you have no idea what's going on. And the more you act like, oh, you have to do this, or the more I send those lack vibrations and really hold them really close, the more that they will be my reality. And it's like, there's no one putting that on me, There was no reason for me to do that. Had I known that money was going to come in a few days and next week, I would have just been living my life and been very glad and been really aligned and in the flow of things. But it's like, for those days, for that week or whatever, in which I really felt like I was in lack, I was really not experiencing the beauty of my life that was there to experience, because, the money was coming, everything was going to be taken care of. It was already taken care of. It's just, I was limited in my ability to see it. I was limited in my ability to access it and embody it, and by choice at that, because like, I know all these things, I know those lessons, that's happened a bunch of times, but sometimes it's easier to sometimes it's easier for me to stay in, to make those decisions knowing like, oh, hey, I just need to continue to embody the fact that I have everything I need, and at any given turn I have everything I need. If I don't have it, I just simply don't need it yet. But sometimes it's easier to embody that than others. And sometimes, hey, I'm human. I fall into still those old things that I've outgrown. But that's the process of shedding it, It's not going to be a perfect ride. There's going to be times where it's easier than other days. But as I continue to do it, and I continue to raise my frequency and all that, and know my reality continues to be more gentle in those reminders and all that. So it's like, yeah, just make sure you're embodying abundance at every given turn. And that just because you have the abundance, don't fall into lack to try to keep it. And I'm trying to get these shadows off, but yeah, and it's like the best thing you can do at any given turn is continue to embody your abundance. And when you can, and like, look, like I said, like that's the grapes are under now. Now it looks like giving. And it's like the best thing you can do is give and understand that it all comes back to you, One thing I like to always say to myself when I spend money is every dollar I spend comes back to me multiplied by 10. Every time, to the point where it's like clockwork now. And I just embody it. It's an energy and everything. So every dollar I spend comes back to me multiplied by 10. And that's the case, honestly. And it's like even when I don't see where it's coming from, it presents itself, or somebody will come through and buy a service from me, or like there's been so many things that may look mundane, but the truest magic looks like just coincidence. The truest magic looks like happenstance. It looks very unmagical a lot of the times, It looks like, oh, okay, somebody just decided to do this thing, but it truly is you, it truly is you aligning to these frequencies and putting yourself in the game for magic, for miracles, for coincidence, because none of that, there is no coincidence. It's all born of you. And if you weren't in alignment to it, it wouldn't happen, If you weren't resonant to the miracles, to the magic, to all that, it wouldn't happen. So understand that the more you can attune to those frequencies and stay connected to them, the better off you are. And we got another 7 on the bottom. This is 7 of Wands. And this honestly feels like stand your ground, no matter what it looks like on the outside. Understand that when it looks crazy on the outside, tap in with yourself on the inside. And if on the inside you feel calm, peaceful, aligned and all that, understand that that's the truth. That's really where you are. And that the rest of that is noise. The rest of that is all type of stuff. But you, the reality of you and your reality is seen within, and it gets reflected on the outside. So if on the inside you don't feel shaky, you don't feel chaotic, you don't feel any of those things that you see on the outside, understand that you can move in that, and that's your truth. You don't have to take on all the outside stuff as your own, especially when nothing has changed between yesterday and today, this moment and that moment. It just looks a little crazy, or, understand that you're okay, and that at any given turn you have exactly what you need to get through this present moment. And as the next present moment comes, you'll have what you need to get through that one too. But you've falling into fear vibrations, attuning to the frequencies of lack, of all that will never solve the problem anyway, because the only things you're going to attract while attuned to those frequencies is more of the same. So if on the inside your frequency is high vibe, is calm, is peaceful, you'd be best served to attune to that and allow that to bleed out, and to ground it in, go create something through that peaceful energy. And, make your environment more peaceful, go make a painting from peace and put it up somewhere you can see it. So now that's going to be ruminating. That's going to be, it's going to have that peaceful energy oozing from it and bleeding into your environment. And that's just one example. And it's like, allow your inner world to be your reality, and allow everything else to be results, because that's all it is anyway. Like I always say, this tree didn't pop up here this second. This tree, who knows how long it's been. Look at it, it's so grand and big. It's probably been here longer than I've been alive, probably. But yeah, it's been here. It's a product of a moment that's not here anymore. This jacket is a product of a moment that's not here anymore. This was a thought in someone's mind before it was made, and they made it a sketch, and then they did what they needed to do to actually be able to make it, or whoever made it, and then it got hit stores and then went out, and this was thrifted. So then someone else had it, and then they gave it up. Like this jacket has a long history, a long life of things before this moment in which we're in right now. And that's everything in the physical, none of it just popped up right before your eyes right there, it was born of a moment that's not here anymore. So understand that as you're looking around and you're seeing different things, this is more telling of the past and where you've been more than it is telling of who you are right now and where you are right now. And where you are right now can be seen inside of you and through your vibration, through your frequency and all that. So stand your ground as the outside gets loud and it gets scary or whatever it gets. Yo, if you're not like that on the inside, if you feel good, you feel high vibe, you feel better than ever, you feel healthy, you feel excited, ready and all that, that's the truth. Stand your ground and hold that vibration and hold space for it, you know? Don't take on all the outside stuff just because it's there and it feels more real because you can see it. Because at the end of the day, the physical is last, you know? The physical is just embodiments of energy. This is all light just slowed down enough to take on form, you know? Like it's all just light. It's all products of light. And it's like your energy within you is light. So it's like it's all, these are just all products. So at the end of the day, stand your ground and understand that your truth is the truth. And under that, we have the moon. And this just feels like that same call of trusting your darkness, trusting the things you can't see necessarily. Your intuition, your guidance, your feelings, how you feel about certain things, like that darkness that isn't necessarily tangible, that isn't the same as, oh, this bill that came today, or this person that's stressing me out, or this relationship that always makes me feel drained. Like, you know, it's like those things that aren't as tangible and aren't as physical, but are just as important, if not more important, you know, but there's no separation. So it's all equal at the end of the day. But it's like, yeah, trust your intuition, trust your inner world, and understand that that is taking you to higher heights. You know, this figure is on stilts right here. And over there's like, yeah, and then on this side, there's this other figure in the dark that's really tall coming through the clouds. And it's like, yeah, allow your inner world to lead the way and understand that it's leading you to everything that you want and see for yourself. Oh, yeah. And as I said, leading, we got another 7, the Chariot, and that's 3 7s now. We got 777 jackpot energy. And yeah, this just feels like trusting your intuition. I'm being drawn to the eye and the wings at the front and allowing it to really lead the way. And I'm also being drawn to the fact that the tigers, you know, there's no harness, there's no leash or anything keeping them to the chariot, but it's definitely moving very fast and pulling the chariot along. And it's like, you don't have to be super hands-on. You don't have to try to control everything so much. It's like the best thing you can do is allow things to flow and trust that your flow is the universal flow. Your flow is the universal flow, as I just said. It's like you're not separate from it because you are it. You're source embodied. You're the universe embodied. You're God embodied. And it's like you only feel out of alignment when you allow yourself to feel out of alignment. When you feel like what you're doing is wrong, or when you feel like you should have did this instead of that, or you could be doing this instead of that. And it's like, what if I told you that exactly how you're operating is exactly how you're supposed to operate, you know? Because you are connected to it all. You are in alignment. Even if it's, you know, these things as you're shedding habits and things like that, understand that you don't shed habits overnight. You don't become a whole different person like that, you know? It's a process of, you know, slowly and surely making the choices that are in alignment to what you're trying to embody now, what you're embodying now. And as you continue to do that, these habits that you're trying to shed will continue to fall away. And I'm being drawn to this signpost over here that says 2222. And that reminds me to the portal that we're still on the back end of as far as the 22 portal. But yeah, understand that, release that grip on your reality and feeling like it's up to you to force a bunch of outcomes. Because at the end of the day, there's a flow that you're connected to that's bigger than you. And that's connecting all of this together, and that there is no separation. So it's like, even if you feel like you're messing up or you're doing whatever, yo, do better next time. And as you continue to do better, you're in the flow. And then soon you'll look up and you won't have to think about it anymore. Soon you'll look up and you realize, like, oh, wow, I don't do that thing anymore. Oh, wow, like I'm actually that thing I was trying to embody, that thing I visualized for myself. I'm that person now. It's like, that's the process of becoming. It's like, you just have to continue to make that choice as you can, but it's not a perfect process. So understand that you're going to feel more out of alignment. You're going to feel worse the more you try to pressure yourself this way or that way, when it's like you're healing, you're deconditioning yourself, you're doing all these things. And it's like, so yes, there's going to be times where you feel like you could have did more. There's going to be times where you feel like you could have been more productive, or you messed up, or you should have made this decision over that decision. But it's like, even you being able to feel that way shows your growth, you know, because there was once upon a time where you wouldn't have felt that way, you know. You would have just been like, oh, okay, that's just who I am, or oh, that's just whatever. Or you probably wouldn't have thought about it at all. You would have just mindlessly been doing things. So it's like, don't allow your newfound awareness to become a burden now, because now you know too much, you know, because now you're so self-aware that now you're being hard on yourself. And it's like, no, like the fact that you can even see that and realize like you want to do better is the work, is the shift. That means you've turned into a different person, and your actions, because the physical is the last place things play out, may not match all the time, but it's through continuing to make those choices and getting a little bit better every single day that you see that you make those changes, and that the physical, it will play out because it's already done. You've already made the change energetically, you made the change spiritually, which is why you can even notice when you're making decisions and taking action that's not in alignment to what you're embodying now and the shifts you made. Understand that those are just echoes of the past, and as you continue to, you know, pull yourself back to the middle path, that it will become easier, and then sooner or later you won't even have to do that anymore, and you'll realize you're just embodied the way you want it to be embodied. So allow your chariot to move, and trust yourself at the end of the day, because you've done the work to be able to trust yourself. And don't allow your awareness to now become your new shackles, you know, now, because they say ignorance is bliss, and that's true, but it becomes limiting in that sense, you know. Knowledge is freedom for sure, but there's a middle path, you know. There's ignorance and then there's knowledge, but if you lean too much into the knowledge all the time, like they becomes a different it becomes new shackles, shinier shackles. But now you're tied because now you're in lack vibrations, now you're in these low vibrations just because you know too much, you know. Now it's like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, oh I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did that. But you know, when you're ignorant, you wouldn't have thought of that. You would have just been happy and just doing your thing, but it's just not as fruitful. So the best thing you can do is have the knowledge and then return to the middle path and just live your life and understand that you know better. Okay, so that means everything you do is going in that direction. And it's like, yes, sometimes you're going to slip into, you know, into old programming, you're going to slip into old conditioning, certain things are going to come up, but it's like, when you notice, pull yourself back to the middle path, and that's it. And say thank you for the opportunity to see it, because being able to see it is the shift. The awareness is the shift, and that means it's already, you've made the shift. So allow yourself to just continue to come back to the middle path. Don't be hard on yourself, harder than you need to be, because at that point now you're out of alignment anyway, because the truth of the matter is you are universal flow. You are alignment. You can't get out of it if you wanted to, you know. You are exactly who you're supposed to be at any given turn. Tomorrow you'll be somebody different. Next week you'll be somebody different. 2 years from now you'll be somebody different. But at every turn you were exactly who you needed to be. And exactly who you are right now is going to be exactly why you get to that point 2 years from now, where you don't have to worry about, you know, deconditioning and worry about embodying these things, because you just do it so naturally. But understand that that didn't just happen because you made that decision. It happened because of all this work right here, where you're being hard on yourself for being exactly who you're supposed to be. So yeah, let go of those reins and trust yourself, and allow yourself to take you everywhere you need to go. And this reminds me of that middle path I was just talking about. It feels like this one's the physical, this one's the spiritual, you know. And it's like, and just allowing yourself and your existence to be the middle path, and trust that you're in alignment and you're always between those two things, as long as you allow yourself to show up authentically at any given turn and follow those calls from within, because those calls are your GPS, are directly from source. They are your orders directly from God, the universe, and everything, to what to do, you know. So yeah, just keep walking that middle path, and don't lean too far on your physical eyes and your physical senses. Trust your internal guidance and trust your inner world to lead you to everywhere you want to go, because that's exactly where it's leading you, you know. You're here for a reason. You're exactly who you are for a reason. You have the blueprint for your life within you, and it reveals itself through your calls, through the communication it gives you, through your intuition, through those sparks you feel when you see something that's super aligned and you just find yourself going in that direction. Like, trust that those things are not separate from your highest timeline. They're not separate from where you're supposed to go or what you should do. The things that feel like a hell yes to your soul is where you're supposed to go, and that's why it feels like a hell yes. And then we got the 9 of Pentacles. And it just feels like you're exactly where you need to be at the point you just allow yourself to understand that, you know. Realize that you're in your dream reality. Understand that you're experiencing the unfoldment of it. There's nothing to force. There's nothing that you need to make happen anymore at this point. And if you continue to operate that way, it will continue to be that. And you'll continue to be so close to it all, but not there. That'll continue to be where you find yourself in your reality. Because at the end of the day, the more you allow yourself to feel separate from the very things that are you, that are born of you, the more you'll experience that separation. So, and it feels like it's time, like it's all here for you right now. But it's like you really have to connect to that truth and accept everything that's showing up right now as a part of that. Accept every way that you're showing up as a part of that, and allow yourself to show up as you feel called to show up. And understand that if you knew that, okay, if nothing you did today would make a difference of everything coming tomorrow, you would move a lot differently than the way you move when you feel like, oh, if I don't do this thing, I'm not gonna get this, or if I show up like this, I'm gonna be out of alignment to this. You know, when you move like that, that's gonna be the results you get. But when you understand that, it's all born of you, all you need to do is show up as you move completely differently. And that's what you need to embody right now. Like, okay, what would I do right now if I knew that no matter what I did, it would all work out tomorrow? Like everything would be here tomorrow, no matter what I did today, what would you do? And that's how you need to be operating every single day, because in that there is no separation. You are aligned. And through that, you're only going to find yourself doing the things you feel called to do. There's not going to be any shoulds. There's not going to be any supposed tos. There's not going to be any internal pressure to go in directions you don't want to go. There's not going to be any resistance. There's going to be nothing but flow, because at the end of the day, you know that no matter what you do, you're going to get everything you want. And that's the reality you need to be embodying, because that is the reality. That is where we find ourselves right now. And if you're waiting for the proof to come from the outside, like we were talking about earlier, it will not happen. You will continue to be separate from it. You will continue to be waiting, because waiting only leads to more waiting. And the best thing you can do is detach. The law of detachment is very significant. And it's like the best thing you can do is just embody who you are at any given turn, and know that that leads you to everything. So, yeah. Allow yourself to just relax, to chill, and just vibe, and trust that your flying fish will present itself at the point where you realize that there's nothing you need to do. There's no force in the world that will make it happen faster or anything. And that's in your best interest anyway, because if these things came in through force and through you self-sacrificing and through your resistance, you'd feel like you always had to do that. Like, how you get it is how you keep it. So it's like if you were able to get everything that made you feel like you were in your dream reality that way, you'd spend the rest of your life self-sacrificing, shrinking, doing all these things just to keep it. And it's like, that's not what you want. You want to live a life of freedom. You want to live a life that truly feels like you, that truly feels like you're the divine energy embodied. And through that has to come through ease. That has to come through flow, because that's something you can sustain forever. Because watch, at the moment where you relax and you truly detach and just surrender to the flow of you, when it comes in, you'll be like, wow, like that really came through not force at all. I didn't do anything other than just kind of embody myself. You will continue to live your life that way, because you will remember like, wow, yeah, the biggest shift, the biggest blessing that ever came in my life was in that moment where I was detached and fully surrendered. And you will continue to pull yourself back to that, and you'll be able to anchor to that point. So it's like, that's a very important part of these things that are unfolding right now. So you will not see the proof of it through force, through any of that stuff, that super 3D that we've already shed, that we've been shedding for months, for a lot of months now. So it's like, yeah, understand that this is it. Like, that's all that's left to do is truly detach and truly surrender. And if you feel like you're looking around, you're not seeing the proof of your dream reality, that's it. That's the reason why. You're still looking around. You're still trying to find the proof. You're still waiting for the proof to come from somewhere other than inside of yourself. When at the end of the day, it all is born of you. So you need to connect to that energy from within you and move with that and trust with that and act as if, like, how would you move if it was all here? You wouldn't be looking left and right. You wouldn't be waiting. You wouldn't be feeling like, oh, let me do this thing. Maybe it'll come if I do this, because it's already there in that reality, You just be moving in your knowings. You just be doing what you felt called to do. You would just be flowing in your flow. You'd be engaging with your loved ones. You'd be making time for the things that are important to you. You'd be creating. So it's like, go do that stuff now. And I guarantee you, watch, you'll get more proof of it as the things you're creating and sharing with the world, as they, especially if you're someone who who, you know, is an artist, or you make music, or your creations literally are seeds, and they create wealth for you, and they attract, you make things that people pay for and things like that. As you continue to create things from that energy and that vibration of needing nothing, of understanding that you're in your dream reality and that it's all here for you. As you make things from that, understand that those seeds will grow into trees of that very energy, and you will get the proof back through that, you know, through the way you're showing up, through the seeds you're planting, through the things you're creating. They will ground in that reality for you, you know. Your biggest things will be the things that you made when you needed nothing, when you were truly God embodied, when you weren't trying to force in your abundance, when you weren't trying to do things just to attract the money. Understand that the things that you make in those vibrations will be much more far reaching, and it will lead to those very things, and you'll see the proof that way. But as long as you're looking for it to come outside, you're going to be stuck in that loop. It's going to be a never-ending loop and cycle, honestly. So the best thing you can do is trust your inner world, trust your inner callings, and show up authentically at any given turn, no matter what that looks like. I'm not even just saying show up authentically in the high vibes. Like, if you're sad, be sad, you know, and hold space for the sadness. If you're happy, be happy and hold space for the happiness. Share the happiness, you know. If you're sad, it's okay. Create something that's sad, you know, make a sad painting, move the energy. And through that, you'll authentically be something else, you know, when it's time to be. But if you're suppressing these things, or you're only embodying the good stuff, and then when you're not in a good mood, you just put on a good mask, then it's like, you're just out of alignment at that point. And even then, you're not out of alignment, because that means you just need to learn more. You just need more time to integrate these lessons. And at that point, you're in alignment, because you're getting exactly what you need back, which is the feedback and the lessons, because you need them. At the point you didn't need them anymore, you wouldn't be getting them anymore. So show up authentically and trust that you're in alignment no matter what you do. Because if you're getting lessons, you need the lessons. If you're getting abundance and miracles and blessings, it's because you're in alignment to that. But whatever you're in alignment to, you'll get. But you're in alignment always. You are alignment. You are in the universal flow of everything, always. So trust that and show up as that at any given turn, honestly. And yeah, that's a great reminder, man. That's one I need too, all the time. Like I said, I have my days. I definitely do. And yeah, I try my best to always pull myself back to the anchor point, because I've gotten so much proof. Like, I get proof all the time. Being here with you all is proof of that, you know. This is only a product of me choosing myself and then choosing authenticity, you know. Like, yeah, if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't have made it here, you know. I'd still be in a life where I felt like a side character. I'd still be in chaos that had nothing to do with me, and, you know, shrinking and all that. And it's like, just a little bit of embodiment and showing up authentically led me here, and I couldn't imagine my life without this. And it's like, yeah, Monday Magic continues to be all the proof I need, and it's led me to more proof. It's led me to relationships and people that I can't imagine my life without, and just more things that feel 1,000% me. And it's like, I've realized, like, yo, because I'm showing up as 1,000% me. I show up here and I am myself 1,000% without controlling, without trying to hold myself back, without shrinking. And it's only led me to things that match that. So yeah, I'll forever preach that, and I'll forever stress that authenticity and choosing yourself and connecting to yourself. Because if you're here, like, you're only here and I'm only here, we're only having this exchange because of that very truth that I'm talking about, you know? So it's like, if you're gonna listen to anything I say, listen to that, because without that, there would be no this for you to listen to, you know? You'd probably be somewhere else, maybe listen to somebody else, but you find yourself here and I find myself here based off that very seed of showing up authentically, of trusting myself, trusting my path, and putting myself first, because everything else is born of that. So when I say that, I always stress and I always express that energy to the utmost and to the full extent, because that's the seed that the tree we're enjoying fruit of right now. So that's very important to me. And under that, 8 of Pentacles. And this feels like mastery energy, but also feels like you've gotten this far. Allow these things to feel like fun. Allow these things to feel like play, you know. You didn't learn all these things and shed all these programs and decondition yourself and reparent yourself and all that to get here, and to still be rigid, to still be fearful, and to still treat yourself as if you don't know what you're doing. And it's like, you're a master. Look, he's not sitting there looking and analyzing those bubbles. He knows they're perfect. He's blowing new ones. He's continuing to sow those seeds and continuing to have fun and embody everything he knows himself to be. And that's all you need to do right now. And it's like, allow these things to feel like play, and they can feel like play. And you doing things that are truly authentic for you and truly for you will feel like play. It won't feel like force and effort and work, because, you know, you're just showing up as you. You're just following the energy. You're just flowing with it, as the birds flow with the energy, as the grass grows because it's supposed to, as the trees grow and shake in the wind as they're supposed to, you know, without thought. And then, yeah, on the bottom, we got the Hierophant, and then we got strength under that. And it feels like trusting your knowings, you know. Yeah, and it feels like I'm being drawn to them on the back, how there's the stuff growing out of their back and literally being supported by their back and, you know, their strength. And it feels like where you are right now is a product of everywhere you've been, you know. And you have the keys now. You see the keys on his lap. It's like you have the keys now to live the life you need to live and to live a life that feels good to you. And it's like, now is not the time to be hard on yourself. Now is not the time to be stressing yourself out and to be tough with yourself and be rigid with yourself. And I'm being drawn to the apple right here. And then there's a queen chess piece right here, which is arguably the most powerful piece on the board. Yeah, and as you move to the top, you know, there's a person up there sitting in like meditation, but looking forward, like they're sitting crisscross applesauce and looking ahead. And then the person up there is standing with their arms crossed, looking very proud. And these all just feels like versions of you, you know, because like the first one on the floor, they're on their knees with their head down. But then as you look right here, they start to stand up, like they're starting to get up. And the very next person you see is sitting there, is standing tall, is sitting there staying tall and proud. And yeah, it just feels like, remember where you've been and don't allow yourself to stay there either. Like allow it all to pour into you and to make you feel exactly how you're supposed to feel right now. How you're supposed to feel right now is super aligned, super ready and primed for everything that's here for you. Because look, and then I have an ant crawling on my card. And it's like, you've worked so hard. Hold on, come on, ant. You've worked so hard to get to this point. You've done so much effort. And yeah, you're just so divinely protected. I'm being drawn to all the purple. And that feels like cosmic energy. It feels like divine energy. It feels like the crown chakra. It just feels like you're little. And look, he has the gloves, the shoes, the cloak, the hat. He's sitting on it. It's like you're supported by everything. It's all divine. It's all source. And the point you are at now is the point where you know that, you know. So it's like, don't allow yourself to feel separate from it all, because you are it all. You are God. You are the universe. You are everything. So every moment you find yourself feeling separate from it all, or feeling like you should be doing something, or you should be doing something else, or you're messing up, understand that that's an illusion. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. And the more you free yourself to continue to embody that truth, the more you'll get the results back. And you're just being called to have strength right now, and to be strong, and to not hold so much space for these illusions. You know, as they come in, reframe and reconnect and re-anchor to all the proof you've gotten. Reconnect to your lessons, and just remember where you sit in relations to your reality. And where you sit in relation to your reality is right at the center. You know, you are the center of your universe. You're maybe not the center of the universe and everybody's universe, but you're the center of your universe. You know, every day you wake up as yourself. Every day, you know, you're the only one who's been there for every single part of your life. And yourself is the only person you've been there for every part of their life as well. It doesn't matter if you have kids. It doesn't matter if you have a twin. There's moments, you know, if they're in the bathroom by themselves, boom, off rip, you weren't there for every part of their life, you know. And that's just one example, you know. If it's kids, they go to school and come back. They go to this place and come back. There's places they are without you. And it's like, so it doesn't matter how many years you've known them. It doesn't matter any of that. The only person you've been there for every step of the way is yourself. And the only person who's been there for every step of your way is yourself. So it's like, you are the center of your universe. And it's like, no one else can validate these things for you. No one else can invalidate these things for you. At the end of the day, the choice is always yours, last. No matter what advice you get, no matter how much people put on you, at the end of the day, whether it impacts you or not, whether you internalize it or not, is your decision. Like, you can let it fall off your back, or you can internalize it and own it as yours. But at the end of the day, that's your choice to make, and no one's making you make any of those choices or making you do anything. So it's like, remember where you've come from and really have the strength to take on these things, because you've made it to this point where you are everything. You understand, you've always been everything, but now you understand just how connected you are to it all. And you wear your divine protection like clothing. You're surrounded by it. That support is everywhere, and the things that you don't even think about. The clothes you wear is divine support. The shoes on your feet is divine support. The hat on your head is divine support. Your worst enemy is divine support. At the very point where they're making you grow and they're reintroducing you to your power and making you take your power back and making you set stronger boundaries, all that, understand that all that's leading you to more of yourself, to a better embodiment, not even a better, because there's no separation, it's all equal, but a more authentic embodiment of you. So it's all divine support, it's all source, it's all God, it's all the universe. The hardest things is the universe's source. So remember your teachings, remember your lessons, remember your learnings, and boom. On the split, we got the Hangman. There's been a lot of majors. I don't know if y'all know, there's a lot of major arcana cards. And this is the 12th one, which feels significant. And the Hierophant was 5. Yeah, and this just feels like that surrender, that final surrender to spirit, to yourself, to your reality, and realizing like, yo, I'm sitting here struggling up against myself, you know, at the point where you realize you're connected to it all, that you are it all. What's the point in struggling up against it and fighting and resisting? You don't fight yourself, you know, you don't wake up and start punching yourself in the face. You don't start doing any of that, you know, because it's all you. So don't go out into your reality and start treating it like you got to fight for your life, like it's them versus you, like it's the world versus you, when it's like, it's you, it's all you. And the best thing you can do right now is just surrender to it and hold space and allow things to play out as they need to, and allow your proof to come back. But you don't get your proof until you surrender, you know? And that just feels like the call right now. Oh yeah, I got the High Priestess on the split. Oh, the High Priestess and the Magician right next to each other. That's 1 and 2 in the majors. And this just feels like a call to go visit your inner world and get in touch to it and realize that that's where your magic is, where your magic lies, you know? I'm also being called to tell you, as far as just balance, like you see, like there's the cosmic person over here that looks like, feels like spiritual, and this feels like the physical, like this is a physical person. And then there's also the as above, so below energy here as well. So it's a balance of this, it feels like the spiritual and the physical as well. And it's like, understand that that's you, you're in the center, and you're being called to be the middle path. It's like the middle path is the truth, you know, don't lean too far into the physical, don't lean too far into the spiritual, but realize it's the balance of both that is your true authenticity, that truly is how you navigate this world in a way that leads to everything you want for yourself. It's like you get the spiritual and you ground it into the physical, you know. And I'm also being drawn to that divine masculine, that divine feminine balance as well. It's like you're receiving these hits, you're receiving this guidance, you're receiving that connection, and then you, through your actions, you ground it in. And if you're not grounding it in, you're just holding on to the spiritual energy, you're gonna feel out of alignment, you're gonna feel imbalanced. So it's like, as you get these things, you express them. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go talk and tell people, but maybe just create something with it, you know? Make these things physical. And I'm also being drawn to tell you to write down your dreams, you know? As you're having these experiences in your dreams and you wake up, hey, write it down, make it physical, ground it in. And you never know, it's all information, it's all insight, it's all, at the very least, it's your subconscious communicating to you, and it's showing you where your subconscious energy is going, you know, what you're worried about on a level beneath the surface, what energies are dominant in your field beneath the surface, you know, that you may not be seeing. So it's like, as you're getting these spiritual hits and information, ground them in somehow, through your creation, through expression, through talking, whatever feels right. And through that, you'll be able to recognize your inner world more. You'll be able to recognize that connection more. And through that is everything else, pure abundance. I'm being drawn to the pomegranate. And the fact that the open side is facing us and she's holding it, and you see that her head is the tree and it's bearing all this fruit. And it's like the results that you're experiencing in your world is a result of your inner world, It's you. And then you're bearing fruit that you get to hold. And that reminds me to us talking about, like confirmation birth, through like trying to force things in the physical or looking to the physical to kind of gauge where you are. And it's like, it's all born of you. It's like, if you're not hip to the fact that the fruit that you're seeing on the floor, like I'm beginning the image, like maybe that she picked this pomegranate, like it fell and then she picked it up, But if she's not hip to the fact that they're falling literally from her head, from her, like they're literally fruits of her, she's gonna be like, oh wow, fruit, like wow, oh my God, this is amazing. And when there's no fruit, she's gonna be like, oh my God, like where's the fruit? Like, is what's going on? Like, how come there's no fruit? But it's like, at the end of the day, it's all you. Like you're creating all this stuff. And it's just you, and it's being born into the physical, and then you get to experience it out here, but it's all born of you. And these fruit that you're experiencing are the fruit of your labor internally. So it just feels like, and this one feels like a really big one. And she's also, the fact that it's cut open and all the many seeds are visible to us feels like vulnerability as well. It's like not being afraid to share the fruit, the fruit of you, and sharing it with those around you, the world, especially if you're somebody who's a creative and artist. Like for me, I always consider the creation process, the last step of the creation process, to share. If you're just making a bunch of things and keeping it to yourself and hoarding it, especially if you make music, because I know that's a big thing. People have a bunch of unreleased music and they make all these things and they just hold it. And now they got songs that are years old that they still haven't released and I feel like that usually boils down to like perfectionism or not feeling like good enough, so now you don't want to put it out. But it's like, you made it, and it's valid in just the fact that you created it. And I feel like the creation process is not done until you share it, like even if you're someone who identifies as Christian, if we're made in God's image, they say, and God is a creator. That's one of the first things he is, or they are, or she is, whatever you believe. And they didn't create all these things and then keep them to themselves. They create all the things and then shared it with us, and we get to experience it all. We get to experience the grass. We get to experience the animals. We get to experience water and all that stuff. And it's like, some things are not, you would feel like are not perfect, but you wouldn't say that, oh, God made a mistake, there's animals that you might consider ugly or that are scary. You're like, oh, why does that look like that? But you wouldn't dare be like, oh, they're wrong, or they should be this or they should be that, because you understand that it's all perfect in the fact that it's been created but from source, that it's all God, and God made them all, and God doesn't make mistakes, So it's like, why do you feel like you're any different? Why do you feel like the things you make are any different? And it's like, you're made in God's image. You are God embodied. So it's like the things you make are perfect in the fact that you just simply made them. So don't hesitate to share. And if you're a creative, please try adopting that vision or that idea and that philosophy that creation's not done until you share. That's the end of the creation process, sharing. Even if you're sharing with one person, two people, the more, the better, of course, because, you made these things and they're an embodiment of divine energy, and there's something that everyone can get from it. That song that you feel like isn't ready yet can save someone's life right now. That song that you feel like isn't that good, hey, it wasn't made for you, You share it. You realize that it may have been made to save this one person's life, or it's going to be someone's favorite song ever that gets them through times that were kind of hard or boring or whatever. And like now it's become someone's wedding song, or becomes this song that they bond over with this person. You never know. And it's like, just because you're not the be all end all of the world, and you're a vessel of divine energy and magic and all that. So allow yourself to be that. And just because it doesn't resonate with you, maybe, hey, you made it, share it. You never know who's gonna like it. Like I make music, and songs that are super old to this day are still some of the people's favorite songs. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, that song, that very first song I released is their favorite. I'm like, I can't stand that song at this point, Only because, I feel like I've gotten so much better and I'm hearing all the imperfections, especially because I engineer my own music too. So like technically I'm hearing all type of stuff, and there's stuff I would do differently and all that. So I always feel like, my most recent stuff is the best because, I know more and I'm more skilled and all that. But when I go talk to certain people who've been there from the beginning, they still like, oh yeah, my favorite song is still XYZ, and it's like, what? That's from my very first project. Like, ugh, I can't even stand that song, but it's like, it's bigger than me, and I couldn't control that if I wanted to. And it's like, I would never release that song today, but for it to still be someone's favorite song, it's like, all my songs are important. So I don't sit on them, and I try to release them as close to when I made them as possible, because I know the longer I hold them, the more I'm gonna feel the need to hold them, especially as I outgrow them and I change. Now it's not even who I am anymore. So it's gonna feel like, I shouldn't release that. I should release this new stuff. So yeah, I try to share things, like get them out of my hands as quick as possible. And that doesn't mean like, not take the time and nurture them and do all that. But at the point where it feels good enough, I try to get it out. Because perfection is a moving target. Things can always be better, and if I waited for perfection to release everything, I'd have no music career. There'd be no music in my discography, because I don't feel like any of my music is perfect. Every song I've ever released, I sit there and I'm like, this could be different, this could be different. But I also notice as I get away from them and they're not as fresh, a year later, months later, I listen to them and I'm not as tied to them, because now it's easy to be like, oh, it's just old, And then it's like, they're so beautiful to me and they're so perfect, and I don't feel the need to do anything more to them. I don't feel the need to go back and any of that. So yeah, the best thing you can do, especially if you're someone who finds yourself struggling to put your stuff out, no matter what it is, put it out and let it go and detach from it and allow it to go where it may, and allow the pieces to fall where they may. And you never know, bro, that thing that you feel like is so imperfect is gonna be somebody's favorite thing ever. And look, I was thinking about it, feeling like it's time to start to close, and yeah, we're getting repeats. 8 of Pentacles, Strength as well, and then it's in reverse. Oh no, it's not in reverse. But yeah, we just saw those two. So I'm gonna start to wrap up. Pull maybe a couple more and then go to Oracle for closing messages and call it a day. Well, now today has been great. I feel like the energy has been different, but it's been very profound in all embodiments of us being in our highest timeline, honestly. And that's really dope. And yeah, King of Wands. And then look, Strength on the bottom again. It's funny because now it's in reverse, and just now I was saying it was in reverse, but it wasn't. Oh yeah, and then under that is the 3 of, wait, is everything in? No. It's the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. And then I just saw them together too. Like when I looked under Strength, it was there. So for them to both be back at the bottom together, I'm gonna read this in a second, but I'm gonna start with the King of Wands. And yeah, this just feels like having confidence in yourself. Look how he's sitting. He's sitting in ultimate confidence. He's chilling. He's barefooted. Like he's not worried about those bugs crawling up or anything. He understands that everything's okay, and that the physical can look like however it wants to look like, as long as his internal world is at peace and feels aligned. That's the truth, and everything else will be a product of that. And I'm also being drawn to the eye, like under here. That's kind of hidden. And it's like, yeah, his face is covered. You can't see his physical eyes. You can't see his physical eyes, but he definitely has that third one right there on his chest. His heart. It feels like he's seeing through his heart. And that feels like exactly what I'm talking about, as far as trusting your inner world, trusting how you feel, trusting the truth of you as the truth. And yeah, he just feels so powerful in that. And it's like, that's us right now, and that's what we're being called to do, is to just have faith in us and the reality of us, and trust that that is the reality. And Strength in reverse in the subconscious feels like, I'm hearing like, strength isn't always rough and hard and fighting, Sometimes strength is gentle. Sometimes strength is resting when you feel called to rest, even though all the outside pressures are telling you to do more and to be more productive. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do in those situations is to be gentle with yourself, Strength isn't always, Sometimes having strength is really doing the most gentle thing, is being the most softest with yourself. Sometimes that's strength. And it feels like that's what you're being called to do right now, is to have more of a gentle strength and a firm strength in being gentle with yourself, Like I'm not gonna, deciding that, I'm not gonna be moved by the outside. I'm not going to be moved by the anxious thoughts. I'm not going to be moved by my conditioning, by the programming and what everybody in the outer world says I should be moved by. It's like, yo, I feel called to rest. I feel called to play. I feel called to just relax and lay down and just go do something that just feels good to me for no other reason than the fact that it feels good to me. It's like, that's strength. That's true strength. Especially when that's what you feel called to do, because you're never going to be validated in that, you know. You're always going to open Instagram and be called to do more stuff and have this production hack and, oh, you need to grind harder and, oh, you can sleep when you're dead. All that stuff, you'll have endless supply of that type of validation and those type of negative affirmations. But you'll be very hard pressed to come find things that just tell you to rest just because you feel like resting, and to trust that, and to not push ahead when you don't feel like pushing ahead. You'll be hard to find those messages. So having the strength to do that, wow, is very commendable. And whenever I see people able to be gentle with themselves like that, I always make it a point to, good job, to say I'm proud of you and to commend them on that, because I know that that's not easy. And I know that that's something that can only be born of the inside, because if you look outside for that, it won't be there. Not the way that the opposite is there, you know. There's people like me who will say that, and there's other channels and other, you know, people who are living and grounding in these frequencies and this new earth frequency and all that, who will tell you to do that. But it's definitely not the masses and just everywhere, you know, not the way that pushing harder and those more 3D ways of living are. So I'm always like, yeah, kudos to you for being gentle with yourself, because I know that's not easy. As someone who has to do it and all the time, I know it's not easy. And yeah, Three of Pentacles on the bottom in reverse as well. And this just feels like, I'm going to turn it over for the sake of you being able to see it, but this just feels like that lonely road of yourself, you know, because typically the Three of Pentacles is a card of collaboration. Usually has the multiple people sitting there. It usually has the one dude chiseling the wood, or at least in our other deck, our original Monday Magic deck. It has the person chiseling the marble, the statue out of the marble, and it has the two people that seem like advisors behind. One's writing and the other one's looking, and it feels like a group effort. But this feels like, you know, it's just him just sitting there by himself, and you know, he has the teardrop. He has a tear coming out. That's a pentacle. His mouth has a pentacle. And then he has the one eye that's a pentacle as well. And it just feels like, but he's by himself at the end of the day. Besides that, the head and the water behind him. But it just feels like trusting yourself. And you can also see the water through his neckline. So it just feels like trusting yourself. Also understanding that you're not separate from your inner world and your emotions, and that there are informations and notifications on how you're feeling within and your inner world, and that it's very valuable information, and that you're not separate from it, and that everything you experience on the outside is also tied to how you feel on the inside. But yeah, it just feels like your abundance and your blessings are born of the very things you speak, the things you express, and not even just speaking, expression, like the things you write, the things you create, the things you share. All that, the way you express your inner world. Expression for me is just your inner world being out, you know. So like a conversation is expression, because you're speaking how you feel on the inside to the outside. You know, I feel this way, I think this, that's expression. Creating is expression, because you know you're making things, you're making your inner experience outwards, you know, the things you write. If you draw a pretty picture, you draw a sunset, you know, that was how you were feeling inside. That's what you were feeling, you're making it visible. So that's expression. And just all that, all the things in way you make your inner world out is expression. So this just feels like your abundance is coming through expression. Your pentacles are coming through expression. And the tear makes it feel like, okay, your abundance is also coming through the way you feel, the things you're feeling. And crying is also a form of expression, you know, because it's that, if it's sad tears, and you know, it's that sadness being released and coming through the outside and being seen on the outside. So that's expression as well. But it's expression, it feels like just through your emotions and through not being so hard and trying to feel like, you know, crying and expressing your feelings makes you less than. Especially if you're a man, you know, it feels like, oh, men don't cry and all that, but that's bullshit. And the more, and through that, operating like that, you're being disconnected from your inner world, which is how you create all this stuff from you on the outside. You know, it's that balance between that feminine energy and that masculine energy that creates your life, you know. So it's like, if you're never in tune with that, your internal world and any of that, and your darkness, then you're not going to be able to be that manly man you want to be. You're not going to be able to create your world and move in your masculine energy the way you want to without that other half of things. So it feels like allowing that to lead to your pinnacles as well, because it will. And then the last pinnacle being the eye feels like your visions, the things you see for yourself. And it's like, yeah, the things you see for yourself. And it's interesting that the tear is also coming from that eye. And it's like the things you see from yourself and allowing yourself to express it through your emotions as well as the way you express them, you know, through speaking and creating. But just expressing like the reality of how you feel at any given point, whether it be sadness, happiness, betrayal, whatever, just expressing it. And understand that it leads to more of yourself, and it leads to physical abundance as well. And just this black side versus this like white side also brings me back to the high priestess. And not necessarily this deck, but traditional tarot. There's the pillars on either side of her and the water in the middle. And that's exactly what we're seeing pictured here on this 3 card. This 3 of Pentacles. So it also feels like that call to trusting your inner world and connecting to it. And understanding that connecting to that inner world is how you get the secrets of life and everything else. Because it's all within you. And yeah, and I know we were talking about him being alone, but the head in the back makes it feel like you have support ready to be called on at any point. Like it seems kind of dormant, but I'm also, right now I'm getting the vision of like, if he turns and tries to communicate with it, like it'll open its eyes and it'll, you know, it'll help him with whatever he needs help with. And it's like, you're connected to it all. And turning within and getting in contact to source, because you are source and body. You are always connected to source, the universe, and God through yourself and through your inner world. Connecting to that, you'll get all the assistance you need, and at any given turn, everything is ready to help you because you are a product of it all. And as long as the things you're going after is in accordance to free will and the good of all, and it's not, you know, stepping on everybody's toes, or, you know, you making everybody get less so you can get more, you know, those type of greedy type of things, that, yeah, it's all ready to help you, and it's all waiting for you to call on its assistance. So trust that you don't have to do any of this alone, and that you're not doing it alone. And this will be the last one before I go close with Oracle, but Justice on the split. And this just feels like more balanced energy, you know, balancing your head and your heart. And it's like allowing your emotions and your mind to work together, because they're all are together. There is no separation. Don't lean too much into logic. Don't lean too much into your emotions, but allow them to operate together, and back again to that middle path, and you exist in between. And it's like, yeah, there's the ear. I'm being drawn to the ear right here in the middle. And it's like, allow yourself to be between those two things. Don't listen to one side more than the other. Allow them to both be the truth, and understand that the middle path is the ultimate truth. Like, yes, there's the duality of the two of them, but they're one thing, you know. It's all one spectrum, and in the middle is the truest truth and the truest embodiment of these things. So don't lean into one or the other as if they're different, or as one is better than the other, because at the end of the day, they're the same. They all go back to source in the end. So falling into one side or the other, treating one as better, is an illusion. So allow yourself to be the middle path, not necessarily walk it, but be the middle path. You are the middle path. And yeah, I'm also being drawn to these little veins on her arm. I never even noticed them. I don't know if you can even see it, but on the arm that's holding the sword, there's like little veins, like right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, and that just brought me back to the blood card earlier. And yeah, it's just all us, man. It's all a part of us. It's all flowing through our veins. It's flowing through our essence, through everything, our energy. And her head being a comet feels like an extension of that too. Like, there is no separation, bro. You're made of the very things. You're made of literal stardust. You're made of the universe. You're made of the galaxy. It's all within you. And the more you can embody that truth and understand that that is the truth, the better. Because that's the reality of you. And you're being called to just come into balance and allow yourself to be the middle path. Because it's all here for you. And if you don't experience that, if you don't feel like it is, it's because you're not attuned to it. You're attuned to a different frequency for some reason, even though it's there for you to attune to it now. And yeah, on the split, Ace of Pentacles. And this continues to come out at the end of readings, like right when I'm ready to be done and ready to move on. And it's like how I might feel called to just do one more split just to look. And then boom, it's the Ace of Pentacles. And it feels like that same flying fish energy at the very moment where you're detached and you're not looking for it or anything. It presents itself because that's when you're ready. And the moment where you need for nothing is when, boom, you get the reality in which you need for nothing because you're attuned to it, you're in resonance to it. But as long as you continue to look around and kind of search for it and try to force it, you're out of alignment and you're in lack vibration at that point. Because if you had it all, you wouldn't be looking for it. And at the very, very bare bones, that's the bare bones truth. If you really had everything you wanted and everything you needed, you would not be looking for it. You wouldn't be trying to make that happen. You wouldn't be trying to make that reality because it's your reality. So the more you find yourself doing that, understand that you're choosing a timeline in which that's your reality, and that will not change. You will not get to everything you want by chasing it and forcing it and moving in a way that tells your universe that you don't have everything you want. So your detachment is the very key to it all, is the key to experiencing everything you want for yourself. You need to just embody yourself and show up authentically and realize that you're chasing your tail the more you're trying to chase these results, because it's all born of you. Remember the high priestess, the fruit falling from her head. It's like the more you treat that fruit like it's coming from somewhere outside of you, now you're worshiping the fruit or trying to figure out how to get more fruit to fall. And it's like, yo, if you really were able to look up and see, you'd see like, oh, wow, the fruit's just falling from me. Like as I walk this way, go this way, the fruit's just falling when it's time for the fruit to fall. Like it's not coming from anything outside of me. There's nothing I need to do for it to come. I just need to embody myself, continue to be me, continue to make sure I'm in good health, continue to pour into myself, so where these fruit can continue to be big and luscious and beautiful, because I'm giving myself what I need, which is growing these fruit. And then they'll fall when they're ready, and I can enjoy them when they fall and when they're ready, and I won't miss a thing. And there's nothing I need to do to make the fruit come or anything besides treat myself with grace and pour into myself. Boom, that's in which you'll be able to get the fruits of your labor. And that's what this feels like, catching this on the split right before I end the tarot. Again, it's like Ace of Pentacles. This is a divine opportunity for everything you want. But it comes through detachment, not a second sooner. But yeah, that's a beautiful last message to end on, man. Oh, man, I love y'all so much. And I love this, and I love my job, and I love this divine work that I get to do. Like, I truly see it that way. Like, it's a blessing. Like, I'm just as grateful for y'all and this opportunity to be able to express this energy and to navigate the energy and reflect it back as you all are to receive it. Understand that I feel very, very grateful, man. And I'm just as grateful for you all as you are to me. And yeah, I've committed my life to this work, this very work of, grounding in miracles, of being in the right place at the right time, to being a vessel of divine energy. Like, that's what I'm here to do. So at every turn I get to do that. And, those magical moments like that happen and things like that. Like, I'm beyond blessed because, it's the universe meeting me halfway. It's God meeting me halfway and allowing me to do exactly what I want to do and what I'm here to do, I feel that divine presence and all that working through me and being here every step of the way, always. It doesn't feel like I'm ever abandoned or like I'm just doing this on my own or anything like that. Like, I feel like I said, I feel like I'm a vessel of divine energy and divine grace, of miracles and all that. And then, as people continue to comment and say, oh man, like that was exactly what I need to hear and all that, it feels great because like that's what I'm here to do, be at the right place at the right time with the right message and just embody and just be God, because we all are God, especially at the point where we're showing up authentically and embodying it. Like, we can be used in that way, and like, what's the separation at that point, So yeah, that being said, thank y'all a lot, man. I can never express it enough. Yes, such an honor to be here and to sit in front of this tree and talk to y'all, man. But that being said, any closing messages before we get out of here? Anything we need to know? Got red in reverse. And this just feels like, stop being so hard on yourself. It also feels like, stop seeing these things as bad and stop judging yourself, you know? Because it's like, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, man. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, period. Period. And it's like, the only reason it feels like you're not is because you're allowing it to. And it's like, if you know everything you know, and you do know everything you know, then you know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be and that this world is perfect. There's no coincidences or nothing. So it's like, why keep treating yourself like there's something you should be doing or you should be doing something differently when it's like you're exactly where you're supposed to be always. And the more you treat yourself that way, the more proof of that you'll get. But it all starts with you, and you have to do it first. And sorry, a lot of these are kind of reversed and going different ways. And see, look, I'm trying to fix it as if there's something wrong. And that feels like that's exact energy that we were just talking about. It's like, why? Like, why? Everything is exactly as it should be. Just do my part and show up as I need to. I don't need to control anything, including myself, you know? I'm not even bigger than the programming of me, the program of me. So it's like, there's nothing to fix. Like, I'm perfect. You're perfect. We're all perfect. It's like, yeah, we'll be different tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be different next week. But who you are right now is perfect too and deserves to be honored as you continue to change, you know? And then look, green in reverse. And this just feels like, don't even give it feels like that same energy, but the other way. Like, don't give so much power to you when you do good things, you know? Like, when you're productive and you did a lot today, don't overly identify with that either. Don't give that so much credit to where when you're not like that, now it feels like there's something wrong. It's like you doing absolutely nothing is just as worthy of love and worthy of validation as you doing everything. If you spent today 24 hours of the day being productive and you were literally doing stuff all day, that's no more deserving of abundance. That's no more deserving of love than if you spent all day doing absolutely nothing, just rotting in bed, you know? Both of those things deserve validation. Both of those things are you. So it's like, you're no more worthy either way. So it's like the green and the red, the good and the bad, and it's upside down. It's like good and bad because it's all bullshit anyway. It's all a spectrum. It's all just neutral until you judge it, until you put your own stuff on it. Because what's good to you is terrible to somebody else, you know? You sitting there working 24 hours a day and being hella productive might be good to you, but you tell that to somebody else, they're like, whoa, that's terrible. Like, why would you do that to yourself, you know? It's like, it's all neutral anyway. It only means whatever the hell you make it mean, whatever they make it mean. And when you put two people together, it doesn't mean the same thing anyway. So it's like, the standard that you're trying to uphold is only yours anyway. So the best thing you can do is give yourself a break, you know? Is really just understand that it's only matters because you make it matter anyway. If you didn't give a fuck, it wouldn't matter. Like, it wouldn't feel that way in your body. You wouldn't feel less than. You wouldn't feel like you were messing up if you didn't give a fuck. And it only feels like that because you give a fuck. So don't allow the fact that you care a lot to be the very thing that's creating your suffering, you know? Like, don't allow your awareness to be your new shackles, you know, because now you know too much and you're allowing it to make you feel like you're less than, because that's not the truth. And as I say that, look, the minus sign comes out, and this is another new card. It's like, you're not less than. And it's like, that's not the truth. It's all neutral. It's like, look, on the bottom, decide, and it was in reverse. And it's like, you're using your decision making and your ability to choose to be your burdens now. It's like, maybe the burdens were your conditioning before and things that, you know, your ignorance and you not knowing better. But now that you know better, dude, you're using your ability to decide to oppress yourself and to keep you in these spaces and make you feel less than, when that's not the truth of you. And it's like, look, cut it. It's like, yo, stop it. Stop that, please. It's like, allow yourself to be the truth of you, and the truth of you is everything. And look, air. And it's like, that's the truth of you. You're boundless. You're free. You're everything. You're here. You're everywhere. I can't even see it. You know, like, you take up all this space. And it's like, it looks like there's nothing there, but there's air. There's oxygen. There's you know, all the things that are here, that are present. And it's like, air is infinite, it's boundless. And it's like, that's the truth of you. And it's like, you just have to decide that. You have to decide and continue to decide that every given turn. Like, you know what, I'm limitless, I'm boundless. And no matter how I show up, I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of everything that's coming in for me. And I'm not out of alignment because I am divine flow. If the flow leads me here, that's where I'm supposed to be. If the flow leads me over there, that's where I'm supposed to be. If the flow leads me to rest at the point where I know that I have all this stuff to do, that I have all these things that I want for myself, if the flow still leads me to rest, that's where I'm supposed to be at. Because I'm not blindly living. I'm not on autopilot. It's not that I don't know better. And if the flow still leads me to rest, this flow still leads me to play, it still leads me to these things, then that it should be honored even more then, because you know better. You know more than you did before when you were mindlessly doing that stuff, you know? So it's like, if you know all that, you know everything that you want to do, everything you aspire to be, everything that's waiting on you to do, and it's still leading you to these places that look like play, that look like rest, that look like stagnancy to the untrained eye, honor it. Please honor it. That's the best thing you can do in that point. And 11. And this just feels, this right now, it feels like a path. And it's like, walk the middle path between these things, you know? It's like, to the untrained eye, this is an 11. But if you know better, with your vision, you understand, you can see the middle path that's there. And that's what's being presented to you, not just the numbers. And in this, I'm seeing masculine energy, you know? Like the one on either side appears to be masculine energy to me. But between that is space, you know, is the middle path. And between doing this and doing that is the middle path of just being, of just existing, of just flowing and being who you feel so naturally called to be in any given moment. And that's what this feels like right here. It's like, yo, yeah, you show this to someone who doesn't know better, they're like, oh yeah, 11. But it's like, to you who knows better, it's like, you see the middle path. You see the way of being, the space in between, which is the truth, you know? Our body is mostly made up of space. Like, yeah, there's this physical stuff, but if you look inside, there's the space between this and that. There's a space in your veins where the blood flows through. There's space everywhere. There's space. Most of this is space, you know, like there's this physical here, but then there's this right here, which is space. All this space is just so vast. There's way more space than there is physical things. And it's like, that's the reality of you. That's the reality of your life. So if you're only leaning onto the physical as what's real and what's important, then you're going to miss out on most of life and what's to be experienced, because most of it is the space and most of it is the between. Most of it is the darkness in which the light is born from. So, and that feels like a very, very, very big message. Just that whole sequence that just went down. And yeah, it's beautiful, man. It feels like great reminders right now as look, I choose me on the bottom. I'm gonna let it end here after these. I choose me. And then we got invest. And I'm sure there's something under that. Yeah, call me. Yeah, and then it goes into reversal, so I'll leave it there. But I choose me, man. Understand that you have to choose yourself at any given turn, because it's all results of you. It's all you. It's all you. There is no separation. So at the point you're not choosing yourself, everything you're doing while attuned to that frequency of not choosing yourself will only lead you to results in which don't choose you, you know? If you choose that job that doesn't feel like you, it's only going to lead you to a reality that doesn't feel like you. So you really have to, at any given turn, if you're trying to figure out what to decide, choose what feels like you and trust that it will lead to more of you. Period. It's like invest. You're choosing timelines right now. Invest in yourself. Everything you choose is an investment in your highest timeline or in the past that you've already shed. So it's like, make sure you're choosing things that are more of a match to who you are and where you're going, more than it is a match to where you've been and just you picking your conditioning over and over and over again, you know? And then the last one is call me. And that just feels like a call from inside the house, you know? It's like your inner world, like, yo, hit me up, get in contact with me, let's catch up. Like, get attuned to who you now are, because you're not who you used to be. And if you haven't spent any time in your inner world, like really navigating your inner world and really connecting to who you find yourself to be at this point and getting to know yourself, who you are at this point, and seeing what motivates you and what's important to you and what you've shed and what's not you anymore, Understand you're going to be running those old programs, confirmation work. You're going to keep running those old programs that don't match you. You're going to keep getting results that don't match you. And it's like, yo, call me, get in tune with yourself, spend some time on that phone with yourself, you know, getting to know yourself and catching up with yourself. Like, oh man, how you been? What's been going on? What's changed? You know, like really engage with yourself. And I'm also being called to tell you to become your best friend if you're not already. Like, there's no relationship worth nurturing more than the relationship with yourself, because the relationships that you get on the outside that are only born of the relationship that you have with yourself. So that's the best thing you can do right now, is to really, hey, get in touch with yourself, treat yourself as your own best friend, you know, celebrate your accomplishments, talk to yourself, let yourself know you're proud of yourself, you're doing a good job. When you find yourself worrying, talk yourself off that ledge, you know, be like, yo, I know you're only worried about this because you care and you want good things to happen. You want to actualize everything that's here for you. You want to, you know, you want the best life ever because you deserve that. And that's the only reason you feel so worried right now. That's the only reason you're pressuring yourself to go do more when you don't feel like doing more. That's the only reason you won't let yourself rest when you feel called to rest. You won't let yourself play when you feel called to play. It's because you care. You care a lot. And thank you for caring, you know, because I know we're going to have a great life because you care. But understand that you can have a good present moment, you know. You don't have to sacrifice your present for your future all the time, you know. And understand that if you continue to sacrifice yourself in the present, you're only going to lead yourself to a future, which is only the present moment at a later time or at a later point. You're only going to lead to a future present moment where you're still sacrificing, where you have to keep sacrificing, because that's how you got to that present moment. So the only way to guarantee a future in which feels like you, that feels free, that feels like everything you want to feel, is to tap into those frequencies now, and to continue to move into that future through connecting to those frequencies now. Attune to that frequency of abundance, of support, of love, of divine grace, and needing for nothing now. And continue to stay attuned to that as you move, as you make more decisions, as you continue to choose timelines and continue to move forward towards that future, which is just the present moment that you haven't arrived at yet. But understand that the key and the access and the gateway to that is available to you now. It's available to you in this very moment. What makes you feel rich now? What makes you feel supported now? And connecting to those things, and then sowing seeds through those vibrations and creating through those vibrations, and trusting that that grounds it in more and more and more. And you'll look around and you'll be surrounded by the reality of the fact that you need for nothing, that you're loved, you're supported, and all that, because you continue to choose it in the present moment. And you continue to let things fall away that didn't match it in the present moment. And as you do that, one by one, your life will continue to be more refined and more chiseled, until you get to the end. And not even end, because there's always more and you're always changing, but at every point it will be an embodiment of you, because you always chose what embodied you, what felt like you at every given moment. And it's like, choose yourself, and understand that if you continue to choose yourself and choose the things that feel like you and that feel authentic and feel like you're truly embodied and you truly are God embodied, the universe embodied as you are, trust that that will create the future present moment that feels that exact same way. And that's the only way to create the future present moment that feels that way. You sacrificing yourself in the present will never lead you to a future where you don't have to sacrifice yourself. It will only continue to lead to more experiences where you have to sacrifice yourself, because that's what it was born of. So at some point you're going to have to choose yourself. At some point you're going to have to stop shrinking. At some point you're going to have to show up authentically, whether it be this life, the next life, or whenever, but at some point you will have to. So what's stopping you from making that decision now and continuing to make that decision at every given opportunity to choose it? It's like you've already tried everything else. Trust that you're exactly who you're supposed to be at any given moment, and honor that. And trust that that's the guidance at any given turn. How you feel and what you feel called to do and all that is your directions to everything you want and everything that's for you. Because the way to get to everything that's for you is not going to be following someone else's blueprint, because they're not you. It's not going to be doing what everybody else does, because they're not you. The path to what's for you is going to be hyper specifically you. And the guidance you get there, directly, indirectly, is through yourself. The way you feel, the way certain things make you feel light up when you read them. Opportunities that come to your door that feel like, oh man, hell yeah, I need to do that. Versus the things like, I don't know, like, I guess I could do it. Like, those are clearly not going to lead you to a future that feels exciting, that feels like, oh my God. But the things that feel like, oh my God, yes, I would love to do that, will lead you to a future with things that make you feel like, oh my God, I love this. Oh my God, I would love to do that. Like, it's going to lead to more of that. So when those things show up, hold them close. And when things pop up and opportunities that show up that don't feel like that, take that as information. And, you know, as much as you can, don't go in those directions. Don't choose those timelines. Don't choose a timeline that feels like, because you're going to get a life that feels like, you know? So it's like, continue to understand that that's what you're doing. You're choosing timelines at any given turn, big and small. And it's like, you have to start small, do that, you know? Start with the food you eat. Start with what you're going to watch for TV, you know? Like, if it doesn't light you up, like, hell yeah, if it's just kind of like, I guess I could watch that, don't watch that. Go watch something that makes you feel like, whoa, what is that? And watch that and see how it makes you feel and see how you get up from there and feel and how it impacts the rest of your day, you know, because you take that with you. If you were excited and you watched it and it was like, whoa, you get takeaways from that. You're like, whoa, and now you're talking to somebody like, oh man, I just watched this thing. And now you're sharing that energy and now it's amplifying and growing. It'll change your whole day based off of something, a seed this small. And it's like, it really is that deep. It really, 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 really is that deep always. So as much as you can, make every decision with that in mind. Choose what feels you, choose what feels exciting, choose what feels like the future that you're trying to ground in, because it is the future that you're trying to ground in. And that seed grows into trees of that very same energy. So it may feel like something small, like, oh, it was just food, but it's like, okay, but you put that in your body, you nourished your body and now that seed's inside of you, that energy's inside of you, and now you're doing things from that energy, and now, okay, you went and did this thing, now you went and did that thing, you did this, but it was all born in that one seed, and it continues to amplify and snowball into a bigger thing. And you will look up and your life will be that same way, and it was probably born of a seed this small. Like I said, the fact that we're talking right now was born of a seed this small, a decision one day to choose myself after not choosing myself for a very long time, continuing to be there for somebody and continuing to prioritize them because I felt like they needed me. And it was kind of just like, yo, I feel like a side character in my own life. Like, I'm going to take some time and be to myself. And I chose that. And it didn't feel like, oh my God, it's going to lead to all this stuff. I just, no, I'm not coming out. I'm going to stay home today. And I stayed home, and that was the first time in a long time, and that led me to streaming for the first time. And streaming was something I wanted to do for years, and I thought it was just a game, I just wanted to play the game on stream because, I'm pretty good at video games, and I feel like I'm good at talking, all that. I feel like I could stream, and I just never did it. And it was just, and that one day I decided to stay home, I got the call to, you know what, like, I should stream. After wanting to do it for years, feeling like I had to have all these things lined up to do it, because just how I am, I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I feel like, if I do something I'm very, very immersed in it, I want to do it big. I don't want to do anything just casually. So it's like, I felt like I had to have the space to do it, like big, and do it, not mess around, but really like I'm streaming, like this is what I'm doing. So it was kind of just like I wanted to do that. And I don't know, that day it was just different because one of my friends had said that he had streamed like a couple days before. And I was just like, what do you mean you stream? He's like, oh yeah, and for him, it was just like, he just pressed the button on the game and just streamed. And I was just like, and that was so profound to me because for me, it was like, I have to have this thing set up. I have to have all the tools. I have to have my overlays. I have to have all this stuff before I can do it. And that led to years of me never doing it, and probably would have led to more years of me never doing it. But once he said that, it was kind of like, wow, that is all it takes. I could just press the button and just stream. But even then, I still wasn't ready to do it. But then that day I stayed home, it was kind of just like, damn, I feel called to stream. And not only just stream, but after a while, I went outside, went for a walk, and I came, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it now. And I did that same thing. I just hit the button, and I streamed and I had a good time, and I didn't have a face cam. I still don't have a face cam on my game or anything like that. But it was nice. A couple people joined, and it was just cool. It was just dope. And I enjoyed it. And I was like, yeah, I could definitely do this. And yeah, and that was profound to me. So then it was kind of like, all right, I want to do this more. And just taking that first step led to more, and it kind of unfolded and blossomed into more. And I went on there. So now I went on to the computer and went through the settings and trying to see like, okay, what can I set up? What can I, to continue to do this? And I saw they had the scheduling feature, and the scheduling feature, I was like, oh, okay, I can schedule things. So then I'm like, oh, I can do weekly readings, because at that point I was doing like little random like energy readings. Some maybe I'll pull one card at the end, but I was just speaking just based off of energy, the things I'm noticing and the things I feel called to. Once I kind of started the video, I was doing those on Instagram just every once in a while, maybe like once a week on a random day or once every 2 weeks on a random day. So it was just kind of like, and this was last year that I started streaming. And then literally off of that one stream where I played the game after feeling called to for so long, and I only did it because I chose to stay home that one day because I was showing up inauthentically every day before that for months. And yeah, that one day I literally chose myself. All that unfolded. I streamed for the first time, and then that led to me going and finally looking at the schedule and be like, wow, I can do weekly readings. And then literally the following Monday, I was here doing Monday Magic, which was last year, and now here we still are doing Monday Magic. And I can't imagine my life without this, like I said. So yeah, I was like, all right, I can do weekly readings on Mondays. I love Mondays. And I feel like Mondays are very magical, and they get a bad rap, you know, because it's when most people return to school and to work and after the weekend, so it feels like it's the worst day ever, because it's like you were just chilling, now you have to do all this stuff. But Mondays are very progressive. Mondays have this flow and energy about them where, you know, everybody's rested. You know, they may not want to be at work, they may not want to be in all these places, but they can be, you know. It's not like Thursday where it's like, oh man, like now it's starting to add up and they're ready for the weekend. But it's Monday, you know, like maybe you don't want to be there, but you got the energy to be there, and there's this progression, this newness and all that, and I love that. So I was like, yeah, I can do Monday Magic, like, and yeah, or I could do weekly readings, and then that became Monday Magic, the name, and then it just continued to blossom and yeah, and all that came from one seed that may not have felt that deep at that moment. Like I didn't do it because I was like, oh man, when I do this, it's gonna lead to everything. Like I didn't think that at all. It was just kind of like, you know what, I need to pick myself. I need to choose myself. Like this is getting out of hand. And so I did. And yeah, and I kept doing it because this even became an issue. It was kind of just like this. To them, it was random and all that, but it wasn't random. Like I said, like I wanted to stream for years. I was already doing the random weekly reading, stuff like that. So this seems like a very smooth trajectory for me being here. So it's like I had to, it didn't take just choosing myself one time. I had to keep doing it, and it led to issues. There was times where there was arguments about this very thing, which is beautiful, which is everything. Like I don't see how anybody could have a problem with this, but that just shows the space I was in and who I was around and all that. And yeah, it just became very clear that that was something that was only going to be sustained as long as I was willing to self-sacrifice and not choose myself. Because at every point I chose myself, it led to more issues, and the tower just kept getting beat up until it came down. And it is that deep, like I said. But yeah, Monday Magic has led to so much. Like it's led to me to people who truly feel like my people. It's led me to love that truly feels like true love, and that is true love, and that continues to amplify everything that I touch and continues to make me feel like more of myself. And all that off of this very thing that was only born of that one seed of me choosing myself. And it's like, if I didn't do that, like, I don't know, I can't, you get it at this point because you've heard the whole story. And it's like, there's so much more. It's like Monday Magic doesn't owe me anything at this point. Like, it serves as so much proof for me. It's led me to more proof. It continues to be a excellent way for me to do my divine work, and I love it so much. So when I tell y'all that I'm so grateful for it, and I'm grateful for y'all, I really mean it. And when I say like, yo, choose yourself, choose authenticity, all that, it means that much to me because that's how I got here. So the fact that you can hear me is only a product of that seed, and it's become this tree that you're now enjoying the fruit of. So to enjoy the fruit of that tree, but not take heed to that seed and not keep it for yourself and allow it to grow your own tree, feels so out of alignment, so backwards. Like if there's nothing else you take from this ever, any of these readings, please take away the fact that you need to show up authentically in your life. You need to put yourself first in your life, and you need to allow yourself to be the center of your universe that you are, and trust that everything else that's in alignment to you will continue to be in alignment to you. The only things that will fall away from you doing that are things that aren't in alignment to you and your truest authenticity, guaranteed. And as those things fall away, they will be replaced by things that are an embodiment of your truest truth and your authenticity. So yeah, as you continue to see me sitting here, please don't forget that story. And that's only part of it. Like I can keep going deeper into it and flesh it out some more and let you see just how deep the rabbit hole goes. But you can feel it. I'm sure you can feel it, because this was me closing it down, like, and led into a whole another segment. But yeah, like that's where you are right now. That's this tree you're sitting under, literally and figuratively. Like that's the fruits that we're enjoying, and it's all just based off authenticity, choosing myself, and embodying everything that we talk about here. So if you want the proof, this is the proof. The fact that you're even hearing me talk is the proof. The fact that we have these exchanges are the proof. The energy you feel as I talk to you is the proof. If you don't want to rely on your own proof, this is the proof. So that being said, I love y'all so much, and I really, really mean that. And I'm going to continue to show up authentically. I'm going to continue to put myself first as I need to, because that allows me to come here and to do my work and to continue to pour into you all the way I need to pour into you all. So yeah, I appreciate y'all continue to be gracious with me as I continue to do that. And yeah, I just love y'all so much. And yeah, y'all mean so much to me, and this space means so much to me. It really, like I said, it is the living proof of everything I talk about. And this continues to be a vehicle to everything, period. So I love y'all so much. I just got the 10% warning on my battery. I was already ready to wrap it up. So yeah, I'm gonna go, y'all. And I love y'all so much, man. I can't keep telling y'all. I can't tell you enough, my bad. I can definitely keep telling y'all, but yeah, choose you, man. If you heard nothing else, you heard that. So please keep that close and continue to do your thing, man. I'm Mark. I've been your reader, and this was amazing. This is honestly one of my favorite Monday Magic so far. I'm excited to see it back. I'm excited to see what comes of it. I'm excited to see whatever messages are in the chat later, if there are any. And I love y'all. I love y'all so much. I keep saying it, but it's not doing it justice. Like the energy's not moving. It's still sitting there, because the truth of the matter is the energy behind what's making me say that. And the words can never do it justice. Language is limited. So I just hope y'all feel it, and y'all can feel it in the way I show up and how I show up and all that. But yeah, man, definitely go tell somebody you love them. Go tell yourself you love yourself. Give yourself a hug. Be gracious with yourself. Yeah, just do all of that, please. And make sure you do all the things too. Share this message with someone. Share your favorite part with someone. Just play your favorite part and, engage and bond with someone over it, who might need it, or who may need a different perspective, or who you just want to share it with. Go create something and then share it when you're done. Just do all the things. But yeah, as far as I go, like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. Just do all the stuff, because it all helps these messages reach more people. It helps this light reach more people and those who need it. And that's what I'm here to do, is be in the right place at the right time and be found where anybody needs to find me, Like I said, I'm a vessel of divine energy, grace, love, and all of that. So everything you do allows me to do that. So yeah, I'll be here forever as long as I have more to say and the ability to express it, I'll continue to, because it's my life's work, So I love y'all, and y'all be safe, man. I feel like there's always so much more to say, but we got forever. So thank you, Tree. I didn't forget about you. I love you so much. And thank you for taking care of me and supporting me, keeping me covered and safe, and just all of that. Like she's a very big part of all of these messages and these readings. Like being out here feels completely different than the ones I do in my room. There's such a level of connection and wisdom and such a flow from sitting on these roots that I get to be a part of when talking to you all. So yeah, trust when you see me under this tree that it's a collaborative effort. It's a co-creation between me, tree, the universe, and everything that allowed us to be here. So, and you all too, you all influence the energy. And yeah, I'm just a conduit of whatever you're ready to receive. And that's why you're here, and you align to the messages, and I get to present them to you, but they're born of you. If you weren't ready for them, if they weren't for you, you wouldn't be here. Especially at this point, at this message, at the end, like if you made this far, you're a very, very big deal. You're a very special person. You're a very connected person, and you're everything you know yourself to be. So please continue to show up as that. But yeah, I could do this all day, like I said, but I love y'all. This has been Mark. Meet me on the Patreon, y'all. If you want more, then that's where all the rest of the energy goes. Because like I said, I could do this forever. So from Monday to once this closes to Monday, next Monday when the next one opens, and y'all see me and we do our presence practice, I'm on Patreon, y'all. I'm on Patreon. So meet me at patreon.com/5D just too easy. We're doing the spiritual work. We're doing the shadow work. There's exclusive readings there. There's the Sunday Shadows collective reading, which is coming back this Sunday. As of right now, I'm going to honor however things unfold. But yeah, I haven't done it the last 2 weeks because I was really sick that first one, or that one Sunday. And then this past Sunday, the energy just didn't align for it. So I didn't want to force it. Like I said, authenticity is everything. And I don't want any of these spaces to become a place where I have to wear a mask, or a place where I'm doing what I should do, or it becomes like I'm a side character in these spaces, because no, these things were born of authenticity. So authenticity is at the forefront, because that's how I need to live my life. That's how I want to live my life. That's how I'm living my life. And especially in these spaces that are only born of that, how can I let something born of authenticity become something pushed forward by force and all of that? So, but yeah, meet me on Patreon, y'all. I'll see y'all over there. And I love y'all so much. If you need the links, they're in my bios. So I'll see y'all on the other side. And remember, it's a 1 week free trial. There's nothing to lose. Just come through, check it out. Join the rock tier and access all you want to access. There's so much magic there. And if you resonate with this, you'll definitely resonate with that. And check out my music as well. I'm on all platforms as KK the Artist. Wherever you listen to music, I'm already there. And music is a medium just like this one is for me to push these same messages, to express these same energies, to express myself, to transmute energy, just all that. So yeah, if you vibe with me, you'll vibe with the Patreon, you'll vibe with my music, you'll vibe with just about anything I do, because it's all just me, and I put myself at the forefront, and I lead with authenticity in everything. So anything you find with my name attached to it is me, and it's pieces of my soul and my light just spread out everywhere. So I love y'all, and I hope I was able to inspire someone today, and that you feel like more of yourself just being here. And that's always the name of the game for me. So I love you, and I'll see y'all soon. For real this time. Peace. Have a great day on purpose, because hey, it's your world and you always have a choice. So don't allow anybody to be bigger than the program, including the version of you that's afraid and that doesn't trust itself yet. Because you're everything. So I love you, and I'll see you soon. Hey, let's see if the stop button works. Hey.